sit here and say, look, I don't think these guys are going to be like Pro Bowlers and like ballers at that level.
What I'm saying.
But it could be that they're just playing better than expected, and we need another week to figure it out.
Sure. But I think that most of the time when you've got a situation like this where you're trying out a couple different pieces, like you want to know what you have. You really do. You want to know what you're going to be rolling out there. And I would imagine Ray would say, especially for the offensive line, like you don't want to have anything close to a rotation at any of these spots.
Nah, forget a rotation. I'm all good for competition leading up into week one. Like making a decision the Sunday night going into week one against the Niners.
I hear what you're saying, which is we don't always know why it might be taking a while to figure out.
Yeah.
Like I hear you. I receive that. I think that I automatically go to a negative place with the offensive line, so I am tending to see it as a problem.
All right. I'll be on the other side of the road.
Okay.
All right.
Mine is also, let's see, I'm actually going to go receivers. A question that I have today on August 12th, let's say that I did not, a new one for me that I did not have a couple months ago. Is MVS your third receiver? Like I wrote about the receiver battle heading into camp, so this was weeks ago, and I think I'm paraphrasing myself, but I wrote down something like, all right, well, you already know that JSN, Cooper, and MVS are locks, so let's talk about the battle beyond them. Is that true? I don't know. Torrey Horton's made a big name for himself so far.
I think that if you are Clint Kubiak in this offense, you are watching what Horton is doing, and you're getting excited about it. But you know what MVS can do. He's been in your offense before, and he's just more reliable. He probably knows the playbook better than Horton, and I think that initially he will be the guy running out the tunnel, having his name announced to the crowd as one of the starters. What he does from there is up to him and his performance. We know what the knock has been with MVS is that his catch percentage isn't the greatest. But when he does catch the football, he's going to make some big plays. So I think what Horton has done, which I love, is just apply pressure to a veteran. Because the worst thing you can be as an athlete is comfortable. Like we talked to Ryan Rowland-Smith about it. He says that was one of his knocks. He got comfy, then your preparation is different and your mental focus is different. So this could be a good thing. I want there to be a competition at that third spot. I could see a world where Horton eventually takes over as the number 3 receiver. But I think that if you don't have to throw a rookie in there, it's not like Horton is a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or Malik Neighbors, these guys who you know are going to be number ones right now. He doesn't have to be that, and that's probably better off for him coming off a knee surgery. But it's nice to see him making these plays and that we're having this conversation because what does it do? Again, competition, right? I love competition out there. I can see a world where eventually he's the guy.
Yeah.
But I think that week 1 MVS will be the number 3.
It's week 12. What's your biggest question for the Seahawks right now? Okay, we talked about whether or not MVS is actually your third wide receiver with you answering that, yeah, right now he is, but I didn't know that we'd be talking about Horton so quickly. Yeah. We talked about having a question we've already had, which is who's your starting right guard and not having an answer for that yet. What's another question you have today, August 12th, one of your biggest questions for the Seahawks?
They signed a veteran, Shaquill Griffin, because they needed some depth over there. I like the pick. I think he's still got some good ball left in him. He missed a lot of training camp. And when you miss a lot of training camp, what does that do? It opens up doors for young guys. Josh Jobe, who we saw play last year with an interception against Josh Allen. Nehemiah Pritchett, who was more of a special teams type of guy. He's giving them reps. So the coaches have to do a couple things. They get a chance to evaluate Josh Jobe and Pritchett more than they, obviously Griffin, because he hasn't been here. So what happens when Griffin comes back? Do they just throw him in as the number 3 cornerback and say, you have it? Or do they acknowledge the strides that Josh Jobe and Nehemiah Pritchett have made and allow them to get more reps? The competition for that third cornerback spot, or maybe you call it a fourth if you count the nickel, is gonna be interesting to watch because they both had big plays. Both had big plays last week. Jobe with an interception, Nehemiah with an interception. Now it's about the little things, right? Are you staying over the top of the receiver when the ball isn't going your way? Are you coming up and helping out with the run? Those are the little things that they're looking at to try to separate these 3. But I would assume Griffin already has a bit more confidence instilled in the coaching staff just because he's been there, he's done that. I can't believe, man, he got drafted in 2019. Like, time flies, man.
I know.
He's going to his 6th, 7th year. It's crazy to me. But because he's shown that he can do it, he's been a Pro Bowler. The coaches, I feel like, are going to give him the nod, but there's no way they're going to ignore what these young guys have been able to do.
Yeah, I think some of these groups in camp, the competition is just a bit stiffer than I anticipated, which leads me to my next question. We knew that both of these players would be on the roster, that both of them would be getting plenty of time. Is Zach Charbonnet going to take significant time away from Ken Walker? This is a question. And again, I spent a good chunk of yesterday, as did you, kind of almost defending Walker from people that were being overly critical of his availability or of his potential in the offense, saying like, look, like when he is out there, he's great. And let's stop making it seem like it's a pro-size situation where he's playing 4 games a year. Like that's not what's happening here.
Yep.
However, Clint Kubiak mentioned Charbonnet unprompted, just really, really appreciating his intelligence, his availability. Mike McDonald yesterday in his press conference mentioned Charbonnet stepping up and becoming a leader. Now, maybe he's saying that because Walker has spent a little bit of time on the sideline, and so he's applauding Zach for stepping into a leadership role. Right? It doesn't have to be a slight with Ken. But I am finding, if I'm being very honest, that a question I'm having today on August 12th that I wasn't necessarily having several months ago is how much is Charbonnet going to take away from Walker? What kind of fit is he for Kubiak in a way that maybe Walker isn't, which isn't something I anticipated just based on Walker's skill and Kubiak's scheme.
So last year, Ken Walker played in 42% of the snaps. We got to remember he missed, 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Zach Charbonnet played in 51% of the snaps. So with the injuries, those numbers are a bit skewed, right? When Ken Walker was in last year, he was the guy. But there's something to be said when a name just keeps popping up without even being asked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my daughter the other day, for the last 2 or 3 days, she's been mentioning Froyo. Something about Froyo. Oh, Dad, remember we went to Froyo and I got this? It was one day. Oh, Dad, man, Froyo's good after this, right? So the third day, you know what I do? I take her to Froyo. I'm like, all right, baby girl, let's go to Froyo because obviously it's on your mind.
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet is Froyo for these guys right now. They're thinking about him. They're not even being asked questions about him, but he's on the back of their mind, and they're going back and watching film and understanding who he is when it comes to his assignments and his intellect and all that good stuff. So eventually, all right, Froyo is going to be upon us, and that is Zach Charbonnet. Ken Walker is going to be the guy. It's almost like the situation with MVS. You know he's going to be the guy come week 1, but what's going to happen after that? And the thing that's been the knock for Ken Walker is just his availability. You play a position that's one of the hardest on the body in the game at that running back spot. He played in 496 snaps. He touched the ball maybe half of the time, maybe more than half of the time there. That is a car collision waiting to happen. So Ken Walker's going to get the nod. He is the more explosive, talented running back. But, you know, sometimes you just got to get downhill. Like Curtis Martin back in the day, if you guys remember Curtis Martin back with the Jets, I believe he played for the Patriots too. He was a good running back in the day. Wasn't going to wow you like Barry Sanders did. Wasn't going to wow you like Walter Payton did. But he got downhill and he did what he was supposed to do. That's the type of style I see with Zach Charbonnet, and it's a reliable style. It's not the most attractive, but it gets the job done, and sometimes that's all you need.
All right, what's another question you have? And again, it could be something that you still have that hasn't changed, or it could be something that's a newer question where you're thinking, you know what, I'm wondering this about this team right now.
I'm still wondering about Sam. Last year, Geno played in one drive of the third game of the preseason. Is that going to be the approach for Mike McDonald and Kubiak with Sam Darnold? We just don't know. We don't know what Sam's going to do in this offense. We have a good idea. He did show that he can operate an offense similar to this with the Minnesota Vikings, but that was with Justin Jefferson. That was with Jordan Addison. That was with Hawkinson. That was with a different personnel group and a head coach in Kevin O'Connell who understood him and could talk Sam Darnold's language. He has a relationship with Kubiak, so I would assume that their communication is on point. But the biggest question is still Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold is a below-average quarterback, this team is not going to do the things I think they're capable of doing, which is competing for the division, getting into the playoffs, and maybe winning a ball game. But Sam Darnold is still my biggest question, and I hope that we see him in the second game. If I were these guys, I'd play him in the second game and sit him in the third game, let him sit a couple weeks, let all the starters sit a couple weeks, get healthy, and get ready to go. So Sam Darnold, still the biggest question for me, and I'm sure for most people listening to this program right now.
425 says, or 360 said, bump with the cutest football analogy of all time. I'm imagining Jada just saying, Froyo's pretty good, right? Staring at you.
Dad, Froyo with fruit? Oh, my God. And I'm like, baby girl, I got you. I will take you to get some Froyo.
It's very subtle, which I really appreciate. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Mariners, they're back. They start a 9-game road trip tonight against the Orioles at Camden Yards. What's the real headline?
Guess we didn't have to wait for a series against Baltimore to see the best catcher in baseball after all.
Take that, Adley.
Take that. You seem like a nice guy.
And he grew up a Mariners fan.
Yeah, you see, we really like you, but I won't forget.
They were gassing him up last year, and rightfully so.
Year before, yeah, it was always, Cal like barely made it onto the list.
He had himself a good season, but catch Baltimore at the right time. 2-game losing streak. They lost 7 of their last 10. They're a decent slugging team. They're bottom third when it comes to on-base percentage. This is a game that you expect to win, but we know how baseball goes, man. Teams get hot, teams slow down. I said this yesterday. Can the Mariners travel their game? Can they take it elsewhere? You already play in a tough ballpark for hitters.
Yep.
You've handled business there. I believe 17 home runs in your 10-game home or 9-game homestand. Can the long ball travel, and can Gino get going? I'm hoping the change of scenery helps Gino. Sometimes for me, it was good to get away from home and get into a hotel and be by yourself, get your mind right, and go out there and perform. I hope that happens for Gino. And then you got the Mets, man. They're on a 7-game losing streak. Juan Soto's been playing better this month, his best month since June. He was hot in June. And then Philly is Philly. They paid for that roster, and they're one of the favorites to win the World Series. So this is going to be interesting. You're going to get some teams you should beat, and then you're going to play a round of golf with some big boys and see what they do.
Phillies are going to be really tough, 68-49, like you mentioned, a World Series favorite right now. They added Duran. Nola's coming back soon. It's like they're a good team with a ton of slug that's only getting better. Schwarber just hit another bomb the other day. I'm glad you mentioned, though, the Mets. I see the Mets as being like a team with a giant payroll. They have slugging, but like you said, 1-11 in the last 12 with a negative 25 run differential. It's not going to be, by no means should we be watching this team heading into this series going, oh, so okay, you got 2 series wins here and then you take on the Phillies. No.
Nah.
You never know what's gonna go down, and you're on the road, but there is certainly this kind of very clear upward ascension and difficulty with each of these series.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, the Astros won on Monday night against the Red Sox, but closer Josh Hader had to leave the game with shoulder discomfort. What's the real headline?
I'm not proud of this one. I hate or see him go, but I love to watch him leave.
Yeah.
Just, right? It's because it's not bad.
Nah,
it's not my worst.
I like it.
Remember the one that I was workshopping in the sports pit yesterday? You guys just told me to stop.
Yeah,
That one hurt.
You have a writer's block sometimes. It happens.
It has sometimes. You know what? I didn't think the Matthew Stafford ones were that bad.
Listen, I don't like seeing, obviously, injuries to athletes, but this is part of the game. And we've all, if you played any type of sport, played against a team and their baller was out and you felt like, oh, we got a better chance of winning this ball game, which you do. Hader being third in MLB with 28 saves. Yeah, it's, this is the year of the Astros injury. They cannot catch a break, and I hope they continue to not catch breaks because we're going to need it. I still think that the Mariners have the better roster. Most analysts do. But whenever you can get some help, especially from the Astros, you go ahead and take that. So, Hader, take your time because that dude is a baller. It's
been so nice after the heartbreak that was losing that 10-game lead last year to come back from a 7-game deficit to be a half game back now on August 12th. It's awesome when the opposite happens, and good fortune is working out for the Mariners, like you said. The Astros are technically getting healthier with pitching, so this is something that's like a gain one, lose one. We'll see what's happening with Hader, but they've got 2 guys rehabbing right now. And then Christian Javier returned yesterday, I think. So it's, in theory, they're getting healthier. And they've talked about some of those bats coming back. But losing arms is obviously would be massive.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Jordan Love underwent surgery today to repair a torn ligament in his left thumb. He is still expected to be ready for week 1. What's the real headline?
Now, how'd you tear a ligament in your left thumb when you're right-handed? I actually have the answer, which is that he hit his hand on a helmet.
Yeah.
But
it's when you're ripping
just bad
through.
luck.
You rip through with that left hand,
Yeah.
bam, follow through with the right. That's why at these training camps and at practice in general, you do not get within 3 yards of that quarterback, because that follow-through is where or the rip-through is where a lot of those injuries happen. I'm just glad that my NFC Offensive Player of the Year for 2025 will be available week 1, because Jordan Love is going to tear it up this year. And I was concerned for a second. It's the non-throwing hand, so he should be fine. He just needs his receivers to catch a dang ball. They're like top 3 last year when it comes to drops. Dobbs, get your mind right. Watson, get your mind right. You got Matthew Golden over there who's been killing it during training camp. So, yeah, Jordan, you'll be okay. Just get your receivers right, though.
Someone just get hurt, too? What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Also, importantly, Matt, you weren't part of this conversation earlier. Would you say definitively that the thumb is a finger, or is it like it's like 90% a finger but not exactly the same?
It's a finger.
It's a finger.
Okay, but listen to me. So I was having
finger.
no, listen, hear me out. I was having Bump guess what Jordan Love injured earlier because I was wasting his time, and I said, guess what surgery he's having. So Bump said wrist, and I said nope. He said shoulder. I said you're getting colder. So then he goes back to the hand, and he said finger. And I realized that if I said yes, Bump would guess one of the 4 fingers and would not actually realize that it was the
You don't
thumb.
know that.
Bump.
That's why when you asked me, is the thumb a finger, I said yes. So it would have been part of my thought process.
But if I said he's having surgery on a finger, you would think one of these 4 fingers.
I would think every digit
No.
that's on the hand. Yes.
If it's not a finger, what is it?
It's a finger. I would say it's a digit. It's a phalange. It is a finger, but it's a little bit. It's an appendage. It's a little bit different because I think when people think fingers, Bump, when people think fingers, they think one of the 4 long, skinny fingers. They don't think of the thumb, the most important finger, but kind of like the real offensive lineman of the hand.
I love how you try to tell me what I'm thinking. I love when you do that. Like, yeah, no, Bump, you're not thinking that. You're thinking
not.
this.
You're not. If I said, hold up a finger.
Hold up a finger. I'm probably gonna go index.
Yeah.
Or pointer.
Yeah. Would you ever? Someone said hold up a finger and they went like this, thumbs up. You'd be like, what are you doing, you weirdo?
That would be weird.
The pointer finger is kind of like the Dallas Cowboys in the hand. Like they're quintessential.
Yes, exactly. It's America's finger. And then the thumb is just a little. It's the most important.
The thumb brings it all
one.
together,
the thumb
man.
Brings it
We
all.
wouldn't
That's
be
what
us
I said.
without the thumb.
I said the offensive
right.
lineman of the hand. It's the most important thing. You can't function without it. Without it, you're just basically like, I don't know, other animals that don't have opposable thumbs. Probably most animals. I would imagine. Someone said, why are you talking about this irrelevant thumb thing? It's not irrelevant.
It's Jordan Love. Jordan Love.
Keep
Jordan
up,
Love had
206.
surgery. Keep up. Tim Kurkjian not only thinks the Mariners can get to a World Series this year, he thinks they can win it. Hear why next.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I mean, I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
For Riverside Roofing, beyond the national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville that's built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. Find them at riversideroofingllc.com.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Seattle, your waterfront park is here. Celebrate the opening of 20 acres of world-class public space on the downtown shoreline at the grand opening celebration September 6th. Enjoy free live performances, family activities, cultural experiences, and more across the entire park, from Overlook Walk to Pier 62. Join Friends of Waterfront Park in the city of Seattle for this once-in-a-generation event. Be part of history. Plan your visit at waterfrontparkseattle.org.
Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel remind parents 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Mike's Western Suppliers and CL Western Apparel. Family owned and proudly serving our community for over 30 years.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I was listening to Foul Territory this morning, and there is every couple episodes it'll be Ken Rosenthal, and it's called Fair Territory because he's, I don't know, just the nicest also. This time it was Tim Kurkjian guest hosting, but it is still technically Foul Territory. And he was talking about Cal's MVP race, lots of really good stuff in there. But as part of this conversation, talking about Cal Raleigh, he was talking about the Mariners offense and what he sees from this from this team this year. Let's go to what he said about the World Series possibility in cut 12.
Well, the Mariners are certainly good enough to go to the World Series in the American League. And that's never happened before, so it would be a really big deal if the Mariners can do that. And I think, given all the Dodger injuries, even though there's much greater strength in the National League, with the starting pitching that the Mariners have, and their 1 through 6 in the order is the best I've seen in Seattle in 25 years. I think they're not only good enough to get to the World Series, I think they can win the World Series. That's got people in Seattle excited, and well, it should, because this is a different look to the Mariners because of the corner infielders that they added. Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez give them a very formidable lineup now.
You know, I'll say this, Bump. I know that for some listeners, it can be maybe too optimistic, maybe some homerism to talk about the Mariners World Series possibilities. However, since podcasts were a thing, I have never heard so many analysts seriously talk about the Mariners as being World Series contenders. Not just, oh, the Mariners could surprise you. Not just, oh, if they could get the offense going. I mean, power rankings Mariners being top 5. I mean, talking about the Mariners as not just getting to, but winning a World Series. This is a first for me, hearing them talked about this way, certainly in like modern coverage.
Yeah, to this extent, I think even last year, it was either Passan or Kurkjian or one of these guys said that they could see them winning a World Series.
Yeah, I was like,
right?
okay, devil's advocate.
Yeah, it was, but there's not many people, and it's for good reason, right? You look at the lineup, you talk about Gino, and he's not even taken off yet. The year that Cal is having, Julio doing his thing as of late, the pitching kind of taking a back seat to the bats right now, anticipating Bryce Miller coming back and getting healthy. You can talk about them like that. I'm not comfortable talking about them like that yet. I'm just not. Because this is something that it's the first time we're seeing this type of play this year. Mm-hmm. You got a new group of guys together. You're still waiting to see how the pitch is going to turn around, how healthy they can be. I need a big cushion in front of the Astros by the end of August for me to really start to buy into it. Do I think they're contenders for the division? Absolutely. Do I think that they should get into the playoffs? Most definitely. But there's a different level of play that you have to have late in the season for me to really see you as World Series contenders. And it's not a knock on the Mariners. It's just that there's a process to this. You don't go from maybe get a wild card spot to contenders right now.
Sure.
And I know that in baseball, it's easier to probably do that because it's such an individual team sport. You add a couple guys, your pitching's good, and you get into that. But you still got to win. It's a 7-game series. It's easier, but it's tough at the same time because of the 7-game series. But no, I just got to see more of it. They're trending in that direction. If I'm buying stock in the Mariners, I might throw a couple more bands down on them because I'm looking at the chart and they're moving in the right direction. But I'm not ready to just pull out a whole bunch of money from the 401k and say, I'm all in. These guys are going all the way.
Please don't do that anyway. Anyone listening, please don't take out your 401k to bet on the Mariners. But that being said, I don't think that team's going to exist in the American League. And TBD, like I feel like every single person every year says some baseball statement and then ends up eating crow because the season's so long and so many parts of it can be unpredictable. There is just no team to me that is so clearly going to pull away. For a while, it felt like that was going to be the Tigers. That hasn't been the case for them. They stumbled in July. They're 8-5 in their last 13, so they've been able to bounce back a little bit, but their pitching has struggled. For a minute there, it looked like the Tigers were going to be like that dominant team where it's like, look at them go. Not so much. You had the Yankees. That series sweep that the Yankees had over the Mariners, I remember leaving that series going, we are two different teams, man. And literally they are. But what I meant by that was they had two different tiers that they were playing in. And even though the Yankees at the time had lost their hold on the AL East and were technically a wild card team, you know how we were talking about it leaving that series. We were going, these are big boys. Yeah. These are big boy bats, and you're playing a different ball game right now. And then they came out and swept the Tigers, entered the All-Star break. Cal won a home run derby. They came out, took a series from the Astros. You kind of had a complete shift in the course of your season. I'm not seeing a team in the American League where I think the Mariners have no shot against them. There's not a single team in the American League I look at and think that. The Blue Jays were, for a while, like the hottest team, and you were talking about them as being that team. They're 7-8 in their last 15. They're getting healthier, so they're going to be really, really tough, and I get that, but I think there's just no dominance.
No, there isn't, and that plays right into the hands of the Mariners because the Mariners haven't really been a dominant team in a long time. They're on a nice run right now, 7 games. We'll take that every day of the week. But, no, they're not a dominant team. So since there aren't any dominant teams in the AL, it fits. It's all about matchups, man. It's about getting lucky, your matchups, and health. And they've been on a nice stretch. I remember when they started the second half of the season, we were concerned about the start. Like, man, they got a tough stretch coming up, the timing of everything. So now with them having these additions to the roster, you looked at their past couple of series, winnable series. Obviously, they won 7 in a row. And what's ahead of them, when you look at Baltimore and the New York Mets, the timing is good for these guys to possibly win 2 more series and then get ready for a big boy matchup. But you need that because they're not dominant, because no one else is dominant. It feels like the AL is just random at some point because the Astros go on a run and they fall off. You talked about the Yankees are always going to be in the mix. Toronto, you mentioned 7-8 their last 15. It's just a random league right now, and the randomness fits the Mariners at this point.
That's exactly how, and that's why in almost any other year I'd go, yeah, the Mariners maybe could do something, but I think we're jumping the gun talking about a World Series. This year with this league, I go, I can't tell if it's just that we're desperate to be able to say it seriously about this team, but it really does feel that way because there is so much up in the air. I like your word randomness. Like there's just an unpredictability to it this year where the Yankees completely fell apart. Judge is coming back, so maybe they can get back on track. But you got Yankees fans in the stands wearing paper bags over their head, calling for Aaron Boone to be fired. You know what I mean? Right now, the best team in baseball is the Brewers. Brewers are the best team in baseball right now. Like it's just, I did not see this season going exactly the way it is right now. Even the Dodgers got into, and Shohei Ohtani got into a slump there. And look, they're going to go to the playoffs. They're going to be a great team. There's the National League's kind of a different story unfolding there with the Phillies being just, we're going to get a close look at them at the end of this road trip. So we'll be able to see just how good they are. They're 68 and 49 right now. But yeah, I think that it's very, very cool. And I think I'm letting myself believe it. And I understand the guarded nature, not just because sports can be volatile, but because the Mariners can be volatile and the Mariners can break your heart. But I think that there is something to be said when a very measured, pragmatic, reserved analyst that is not a Mariners fan, though he does like the Mariners, but no reason to come out and bang the drum for the Mariners is going, no, really, you guys, I'm not kidding. This team could win a World Series.
Yeah, we're sitting here saying, prove it. Prove it.
Prove you won't hurt me.
But this is the most optimistic I've seen people in this area for a long time.
For sure. Someone said, imagine that final series in Houston. Oh, man. First of all, I want to live in a world where the Mariners clinch prior to a final series.
Please.
My second choice of world would be one where they get into the playoffs by beating Houston.
In Houston.
And
Yeah. Love it. I might fly out for that one. I might have to take a sick day or something.
Sticking with the Mariners, coming up next, how much does a front office's willingness to buy at the deadline actually impact players, and which lineups would rank ahead of the Mariners right now? Don't go anywhere.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% 90% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
Mr. K's Construction reminds parents 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Mr. K's Construction, committed to making your home and our community beautiful since 1977.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, sticking with the Mariners here before we get back to the NFL with ESPN NFL analyst Herm joining us at 11. This is the latest from Jeff Passan. A lot of questions thrown Jeff's way, really, really good ones that we're wondering, too, about this Mariners team. Like, how much does an aggressive trade deadline impact players, right? And Bump, I know you can speak to, like, a player mentality, so interested to hear Jeff's reaction to that one. Where does this lineup actually rank compared to other ones in baseball right now? A lot to cover, so let's get to it. Let's start with cut one, which is talking about the impact that the Mariners front office buying has on the play on the field.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's directly attributable, but it sure doesn't hurt. And that's always been the thing, I think, with trade deadline additions. You can look at other teams. You know, the Yankees went out and remade their bullpen. Their bullpen's been tire fire since. The Mets were aggressive at the deadline, and they've been maybe even worse than the Yankees. Like, there are teams that went out there and did what the Mariners did or did something similar to it and just haven't had that effect. But I look at the Mariners and I just feel like what they did was they complemented something that was good already.
So again, you complemented something that was good already. You made your offense that much better. What I'm more curious about, Bump, is if you're a player in a clubhouse, in a locker room, do you ever pay attention to what, like, the direction of a team, or whether or not you think a front office believes in what you're doing, or coaching staff believes in what you're doing? Like, does that impact you in any way?
Depends on who you are. Cole Young ain't worried about that. Canzone ain't worried about that. I mean, the guys who know they're going to be here for the next 3 to 4 years, they're the ones who are paying attention to what's going on, because they're the ones who are going to have to make decisions with their career and what direction they want to go. Cal's looking at that. JP, Julio, they care because we know that they're going to be here. For other guys, you just show up and you do your job. Yeah. It's almost like we're in VMAC right now. Sam Darnold has conversations with Mike McDonald, Clint Kubiak, and John Schneider that no one else has. Why? Because he's the guy. And even he's not guaranteed to be here next year, but moving forward, he is the face, I would say face of the franchise, one of the faces of the franchise, and he has a lot of responsibility. So it's all contingent on what's expected of you and what your contract is looking like. Guys at the top of the order are having open-door visits, conversations with these guys. Everyone else is showing up and trying to contribute.
Let's talk about going to cut 7. The lineups Jeff Passan would actually rank ahead of the Mariners right now.
I think I would take the Cubs over them. I think the Cubs with Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker and say is Suzuki, Michael Bush, Dansby Swanson, Matt Shaw swinging the bat well. They get production from Carson Kelly behind the plate. I mean, it's close. I could see the argument for the Mariners over the Cubs, but I think I would probably take the Cubs. I would probably take the Dodgers just because of the star power. I know they have not hit for a while now, and Mookie Betts is not having the year that we expect out of him, but Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, and a lot of depth. I think I would probably take the Dodgers. Aside from that, it's hard to argue with Milwaukee right now, but I like the Mariners lineup better than them. I think they've got the depth that the Yankees don't. The Blue Jays probably belong up in that discussion as well, but they're top 5. I think I can say that pretty comfortably.
Back to the conversation we had in our last segment. You know what's pretty cool about Jeff's answer? Most of those teams, with the exception of Toronto, are National League teams.
God bless. God bless. Yeah, it's if the Mariners were in the other league, if they were in the National League and they're competing with the Brewers and Philly and the Cubs and the Dodgers, even throwing the Padres into the mix right there, this isn't a top-tier team. This is probably a second or third-tier team.
Yeah.
As far as up to this point, if you start the season with this roster, this lineup as it is now, maybe something different. Maybe you compete a bit more. But it's about the star power, and those clubs over there have exactly that, except for Milwaukee. Milwaukee got a bunch of homies out there who drink beer before the games and smoke cigarettes and are out there getting it done. Just plain no disrespect to the Brewers. But the way they construct their roster, it doesn't look like anybody else who's considered a powerhouse over there. So, yes, it's you control what you can control. And you can look around in your environment, which is the AL, and people could knock the Mariners because, well, you're playing in a league that isn't great. So be it. They can't control that. What they can control is this series against Baltimore. What they can control is the next against the Mets and then Philly. No, it's you're a victim of your circumstance, and your circumstance has you fighting for the division and holding down a wild card spot.
Fighting for your life out here.
Fighting for your life.
Fighting for my life. Let's talk about the MVP battle right now, going to cut 11. Here's Jeff.
Aaron Judge has an OPS nearly 200 points higher than Cal Raleigh. Now, this is not to take anything, and I mean anything, away from what Cal Raleigh has done this season. But when you have a gap of that magnitude, it's tough to overcome. And I think that it's funny that Cal Raleigh, the guy who plays at 10 o'clock on the East Coast every night, the guy who is in the most remote baseball location that there is in the big leagues, that he has the narrative advantage over Aaron Judge, a New York Yankee, is wild to me. But he does.
Absolutely wild to me, too, that anyone would have a narrative advantage over a Yankee. Yankees dominate 80% of baseball talk most of the time, but bump. Hear me out. Curtis brought this question up. What if, let's say, the gap between the two in terms of most of Judge's stats right now, OPS, like WAR, things like that. Let's say Cal maintains a lead in home runs and stolen bases and RBI, but otherwise Aaron Judge has them. If the Yankees don't make the playoffs and the Mariners do, does that matter? Because this is, yes, it's a regular season award, I guess, but like this is calculated a bit differently than it would be in some other leagues. Like you can look at it and go, well, his team made the playoffs. That matters.
Cal would have to, one, break the record for the most home runs hit by a catcher. Like you need a stat to pop. Okay, we'll start there.
Yeah.
Most home runs from a catcher, we'll start there. And then it's just about how you finish. I know baseball is such a data-driven sport, more than any other sport that's in this country out of the four major sports. But there's something to be said about if Cal were able to lift this team past the Astros, win a division for the first time in X amount of years, get this team into the playoffs, those are the stories that need to be written about this team. Like Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, right? One of the greatest hitters of all time that we've seen, has the AL record when it comes to home runs. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to most people who are voting for MVP. Something special has to happen with Cal. It's been a special season already. He's already doing some things we've never seen before. But the stories that are written about him need to continue to be magical. I think that's going to be the edge. Step one, most home runs for a catcher. Step two, you get around 55 of them things. Now we're really talking. Step three, keep the magic going and continue to be the face of this, and you have a chance. but Aaron Judge is going to get the nod, right? I'm looking at an article from who wrote this on ESPN ranking the top 50 players in baseball. Aaron Judge is still number one.
Yeah.
Even with whatever he's going through. He's number one, Shohei number two, Scooble number three. You have Cal at number four, according to this article. That lets you know clearly how people feel about Aaron Judge. That's the nod right there.
There's a lot of really exciting conversations about the Mariners right now. And, oh, by the way, the Mariners are back to playing today, taking on the Baltimore Orioles for an early first pitch at 3:35 p.m. Pregame show at 2:30. We are going to take, I'm going to call it a break from the Mariners because we had a lot of Seahawks stuff to get to. We're going to be joined by Shaquill Griffin coming up at noon. And coming up next, it's ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hello. Welcome to the Lee Johnson Auto family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close. And they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back today, opening up 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles on the road. George Kirby's on the mound for Game 1. First pitch at 3:35 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 2:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Packers quarterback Jordan Love underwent surgery to repair a torn ligament in his left thumb, an injury he suffered on the final play of the Packers preseason game. Thankfully for Green Bay, it's his non-throwing arm, so he's good to go for Week 1.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. ESPN analyst Herm Edwards joining us right now on the Emerald King Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Herm, how's it going?
Well, it's football season, so, if you like football, it's kind of important.
That's exactly right. It's just, I was driving in the other day. I was telling my co-host Bump that I was driving in the other day, and it was kind of foggy and rainy here in Seattle, and instead of feeling like, right, summer's over, I thought, let's go. Yeah. I'm ready for it, ready for the start of the season.
It's time.
I know. Okay, so we have so many questions, including about a couple teams outside of Seattle, but I'm going to start with the Seahawks, and my question is about a question. It's your single biggest question about the Seahawks entering the season.
Well, obviously, the play of Sam, and when you watched him last year, he was very good. And then all of a sudden the playoffs showed up and, not so much, right? And so who are you getting? Are you getting the guy during the regular season where he was fantastic? And then in the playoffs, it took a turn. Now, hey, I get it. I mean, I understand that. I've been in football my whole life, but it was puzzling for me, because I was like, really? Playing like that? No, I say that. And then the Detroit Lions let Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders come in there and blow them out. So it's like, okay, I get it. It's playoffs.
Coach, you have obviously been in the game since 1977, your first year. So you've seen the game change, and I kind of like where it's headed with some of these offenses compacting these formations and using the run a bit more. I think that will help a guy like Sam Darnold. How do you think the offense has helped him last year and will help him this year?
Yeah, no doubt, and I think he's really good in a system where he can use the running game. He's a good play-action quarterback. Some quarterbacks don't like getting under center. He don't have a problem doing that. And, the thing with that is a lot of these young quarterbacks, because they don't get under center, it's very difficult at times for them to play action pass because they have to turn their back away from the defense, right? And that's what gets a lot of these young guys all of a sudden play action. I'm going with the ball fake, and all of a sudden my eyes are off the defense for about a split second, and defenses can change. But for Sam, I think it'll be good. And you mentioned where these offenses are headed. In my opinion, when you watch it, The hardest player to cover in the National Football League, and it's been trending this way the last couple seasons, no one can cover the tight end. He's always open. It's unbelievable. The tight ends are always open in the middle of the field. You don't even have to run a route. Just go run in the middle of the field and stop. And we'll throw you the ball and you'll catch it. So I think a lot of these teams are going to go more to the tight end involved in this offense, which they should, and the running backs coming out of the backfield catching passes. Because that's the problem all of a sudden for the NFL. We don't handle that very good on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Carolina and Olsen just completely burning even the Seahawks defense when it was at its prime, right? Legion of Boom. There'd still be some games where Olsen would get the best of them. Hey, we asked Clint Kubiak a question about kind of like, hey, what's your ideal running back? If I were to stay within the vein of talking tight ends, when you look at just like what kind of elite tight end succeeds in today's game, what's that guy look like?
The elite tight end, you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The athletic guy, right? I mean, athletic, can run. Don't have to use him a lot in the blocking game, but you can. But the guy that can run and catch, I mean, we see him. You know, like Kelsey's that kind of guy, and he's old, right? He's still catching balls. I mean, it's almost humorous when you watch Kansas City play, because you know when they need to play, you go, well, Mahomes is going to run around, and now they're going to play street ball, and this is what's so great about Kelsey. He's always in the middle of the hash. He's just standing there. He just stands there. No one covers him. Everybody runs around the field, and I'm going, cover 87. That's who he's throwing the ball to. And he throws the ball, and he catches it. Sometimes he runs, sometimes he's tired, and he just falls down. And I'm going, there you go. It never fails. Look, I like the tight end that the Raiders have. Bowers. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. He's really good. I mean, like, real good. And they got two of them.
Yeah.
They got two tight ends now. And here's what they got. And Pete Carroll goes down there, and you guys know Pete. He was with you guys. I started laughing. I said, the first thing he's going to do is draft a running back. He drafts a running back. And I said, the next thing he's going to do, he's going to fix the defense. And the next thing he's going to do, he's going to play with two of these tight ends, and somebody's going to have a problem.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him, honestly, Coach, on the other sideline last week for the Raiders, but he still brought that same energy. And I was up in the press box with the binoculars on him for about 2 minutes, just following him around, just seeing what his activity was like.
Yeah, I've known Pete for forever when he was at UOP, right? I mean, so that's how far I go. I'm not as old as him yet, but I'm catching up to him. But I think he's bringing a lot of energy to that organization, and I think the way they're going to do things, it's going to be. And Geno went down there; he's got a veteran quarterback. It's going to be fun to watch him.
You know, it's been fun to. It was fun to watch Pete Carroll last week, but it's also fun to watch our guy over here too, because it's just different, right?
Oh.
You got a coach who's 37 years old over here, and you got a coach that's 70 plus over there. What are some of the benefits of going young and the benefits of having a veteran coach too?
Well, when you hit some rough spots, right? The veteran is like the old professor. You know, he sits there and says, okay, young guy, and I know I was that young guy at once, you're just a bundle of energy. You know, you're running around and you're getting guys excited, and every day it's like, oh, boy, you better be ready because he's coming to work. You know, he's going to fire him up. So I just think it's the experience of being a head coach. I mean, and the only way you get it, I always say, is you got to do it, right? It's just like players. You know, you have a player sitting on the bench and you draft him high and say, well, you know, he doesn't have any experience. I say, well, that's your fault as a coach. If you want to get experience, you got to go play. And you're going to have to deal with mistakes. You know, and when you become a head coach, there's a lot on your plate. And, you know, and when the game starts, you got to make a lot of decisions. And here's the funny part. You can't stay on one side of the ball. You coach the whole team. And sometimes you forget that when the competition starts. You start leaning on the side that you kind of coached. And all of a sudden you lose sight. Hey, man, I got to coach all three phases of it now. I got to have something to say, maybe to the special teams coach this series, maybe to the defensive coach. So you have to be able to walk around coordinators, but also deal with the players.
I wanted to kind of focus on that part of it, whether it's dealing with the players, but kind of like the scheming stuff, because Coach, what fascinates me is, like Bump said, when you've got a young guy now heading into year 2, as you were talking, I was thinking, oh my God, I think that he wants more of a say on offense. I think, like, I'm seeing it happen in real time. So it's so funny, you know, just from your own experience too, exactly what he's probably going through. What are some of those things that, you know, you kind of learn in year 2, 3 as a head coach that maybe isn't as obvious from the outside? Because Mike McDonald's smart. He's a smart guy. It's not like, you know, you can learn more football, but what are some of those things that you can only learn being a coach?
Well, the experience of going through it all. And, you know, and you make errors. And I think the best thing you can do is when you make an error, whether it's in a decision you made within the staff or it's a decision you made game day or whatever, what I always did was this, is that, you know, I always looked at myself as a player first when I became a head coach, especially when I became a head coach. I looked at myself as a player, and I would always ask myself this question before I posed it to the team. If the coach was to ask me this question, what would I think? And I went to my player mode and I went, don't ask him that question. It ain't going to happen, Pat. Don't even ask him that, because it ain't working, because I know what I would have said, right? So don't ask them guys that. They're the same guys. I mean, they're younger, but it doesn't matter. The same guys, got the same mentality. So I just think that coach will do a good job. It's just there's no – I know one thing. You got to be you. You can't be somebody else. You got to be you. And the players will appreciate that. You got to be honest. And when you make an error, you got to stand in front of them and say, hey, man, that's on me, boys. That one's on me. See, here's what I've always said, whether it's in coaching, business, teaching, it doesn't matter. When you have the title in life, when you've earned a title and they've given you this title, well, we grow up in a society, we respect titles, but here's the key. You got to earn their trust. And coach is going to have to earn their trust when the bullets start flying. Not in the preseason, when games start and they count. When they count. And the decisions he's going to make and some things he's going to have to do during the course of the year, that's how you earn their trust. And I learned that in New York when I became the head coach. They respected me. You know, I mean, they trust, you know, okay, I respect coach because he played and, you know, and all that. But I had to earn their trust now. And every coach goes through that.
Yeah, and it feels like Mike's done a good job of that here. You feel the camaraderie when you're out here on the field watching them at training camp. Coach, I want to ask you a question about the NFC West. It's such an interesting division to me because it feels wide open. I know a lot of people have the Rams to win this thing, as they should, but with Sam Darnold, you know, fighting Father Time and the back is hurting and all that good stuff, it kind of opens up the door for the other 3 teams. Just what are your thoughts on this division and how do you think it shapes up?
No, you said it right now. I think if you were, you know, laying odds on it like Vegas does, you would say the Rams are the leader in the clubhouse, right? But it's only the, you know, it's only in the clubhouse, right? It's not, oh, they ain't written it down yet, right? And I think the Rams I have a concern with the Rams of this, and not just so much the quarterback. I think he's going to be fine. How can the secondary play? That's their Achilles heel, okay? They got to fix that. So that being said, you look at San Francisco, they're in a transition phase right now. They're in a transition phase of kind of who they are, and they're a little older at some positions. You know, you got to cross your fingers. You got to hope, can McCaffrey make it through the whole season? If not, that's like, uh-oh, here we go. They got the coordinator back. He'll bring energy. There's no doubt about that. I like what Seattle's done on the offseason. They've lost some players, but they acquired some players. They have acquired some veteran guys too, right? So all of a sudden, you bring some veteran guys in there that come from different organizations that have won. That's always good. You got a veteran quarterback. So you're sitting there, you're going, all right, this is pretty good, right? I think the team that nobody talks about a lot because, you know, they're kind of in Arizona, it's like, you know, Carter, hey, beware. That little quarterback they got, boy, I tell you what, he's a handful now. And they've got some pretty good offensive players. You know, the runner's good. I mean, they got some good players down there now. And so I just think it's going to be a competitive division. I don't know if anybody runs away with it. I'm going to kind of look at it and go, boy, this is going to be interesting. You know, it's one of the most interesting divisions on the NFC side of it.
When you're looking at the league as a whole, so you have the teams that we kind of know what to expect. I know what to expect from the Chiefs, and I think I know what to expect this year from some of the league's really struggling teams. The really fascinating ones are the ones that maybe missed the playoffs, but they got an infusion of talent, or that were really solid, but they lost some important pieces. What's a team that you're looking at league-wide, that just the first one that comes to mind where you think, they're really interesting to me? I think they could surprise some people. I'm going to have my eye on them, you know, starting with week 1.
Well, I will say this, and they're not a surprising team, but a team that has gotten off the slow starts in the past is Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That division is kind of interesting as well. Aaron Rodgers now goes to Pittsburgh. The only reason they bring in Aaron Rodgers is for one reason. Mike Tomlin can win 10 games every year. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They need a quarterback to win in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is there to win in the playoffs. That's his sole contribution. When we get to the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers, you got to play, okay? And he's on the AFC side of it. As I said, you know, when you break this thing down, Cincinnati, all of a sudden, Joe Burrow never plays in the preseason. He couldn't wait to play. And I tell you what, that offense was humming. Now, can they stop somebody? That's another thing. They might have to score 30 every week. Who knows? You know, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. We know who they are, especially in the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills, right? I mean, we get it. We know who they are. The Baltimore Ravens, we get it. And here's what I said numerous times. There's a lot of teams in the AFC that'll get better, get in the playoffs, but none of them can beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
None of those quarterbacks can beat Patrick Mahomes. It's almost like when Captain America, and Captain America is Tom Brady, was with New England. If you're on the AFC side of it, you had to beat the New England Patriots to get to the Super Bowl. And if you're going to the Super Bowl and you're one of these teams, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And until you do that, you ain't going.
He is ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards, and Coach, you got us excited all over again for week 1. I can't believe it. So your energy is incredibly contagious. I'm so excited for even the rest of the preseason games. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. And I forgot one team, and I know I'm going long.
Yes.
Watch the Bears. Yeah. Watch the Bears. Caleb Williams. Watch the Bears. I think he's going to be better. Guys, Caleb Williams has a lot of talent.
Yep.
You guys probably saw him when he was in college. He has a lot of talent now. And I think he's got a guy now, Ben Johnson, who's coaching that division, which helps. He's coaching the division. He understands the teams. He's going to put him under center. I think he's going to be better. I'm not saying Chicago's going to win 12 games, but I think the Chicago Bears are going to be better.
You get full bragging rights if they do win 12 games, though, Coach.
Call me back. So you'll be calling me back about halfway
Absolutely.
through the season. You'll say, Coach, you were right, Coach. Look at the Bears.
Yes.
I'm going to go, yeah, the Bears.
You're like, I knew it. I called it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
We hope to see you in the second week of the preseason.
Just going off the coach's vibes, Caleb Williams, he didn't play that first week of the preseason. Their tight end Loveland out of Michigan did play, but no other starters played, which was interesting to me because you have a new offense. It's not like Caleb is a 5-6 year veteran. Ben Johnson's offense, I was hoping to see him out there, see how he executes. He was sacked 68 times last year. A lot of it was on him. A lot of it was on that offensive lineman. You go get Tony on the offensive line as well. So I want to see Caleb Williams perform in the second week. If he does not, then I hope it happens in the third week. He has a lot to prove. I think that he had a better season than what people give him credit for. But when you have all the additions that the Chicago Bears put out there, you got Coach Edwards talking about watch that team. I think they're one of my favorites, or more interesting teams to watch this year anyway. I want to see what Caleb looks like because 99% of his snaps in college were in shotgun. 99%. Now, and I'm going to throw high school in there as well because most of the time in these offenses now in high school, he's in shotgun. So there's a big adjustment that's going to happen to him. But if he can handle it, then the effects are going to be great because he's athletic enough to be good with the play action, to get outside the pocket, throw the football. I want to see Caleb in that second week.
Second down. After watching more film on the Seahawks, what were you encouraged by?
Man, I was really encouraged with Gray Zabel because going into that week, we had conversations and I talked about what's the jump in competition going to look and feel like for Gray Zabel. I think he's going to be able to handle it. I think he's going to be fine, but you still got to see it. According to PFF, he had an 81.2 grade in week one of the better grades of the offensive lineman, 11 pass blocking reps, 9 run blocking reps, 0 pressures given up. I was texting with Big Ray. During the game, when the game started, he said he looks a bit timid. And to myself, I thought, yeah, he's a rookie, first time getting some live reps. He should look timid. But as the game progressed, he looked more and more comfortable. At no time did I feel like he was off balance. He was getting dominated. He might have got pushed back a little bit here and there. That's the NFL. Guys are going to win. I was really encouraged by what I saw from Gray Zabel. Now I wonder how much he's going to play this week, or did he do enough to allow the coaches to want to see somebody else? So Gray Zabel, if you were wondering, after film study, he looked pretty dang good against some good competition. Now, it gets harder, right? You're going to play some ones, you're going to play some twos. Now it's about taking the next step and continue to get better, but I like what Gray Zabel did.
Good to know. Third down. What's the best thing you get from having a fullback in the Seahawks offense?
You get influence. That's what I love seeing when Oots was out there. When I say influence, say like on a split zone look, you're in an I formation, you got Sam Darnold under center, you got Oots behind him, and you got K9 or Zach Charbonnet in the backfield. On these wide zone looks, there are times where you leave the backside unblocked. So what they can do, or they've done with the fullback, is he's going to go and block that DN. But just seeing the linebacker go opposite of the flow of the offensive line, seeing the fullback go opposite of the flow of the offensive line, automatically takes the eyes of the linebackers. They might take a false step to the left, and really he's just taking care of the backside. So you get that one false step, running back going to the right. Also, you get bodies on bodies when you're running like the zone lead or whatnot. You allow the lineman to hope that double team a bit more because that fullback's going to go and get that backside linebacker. You get more bodies in the box, you get more influence, and you get versatility. So after you do run the football a couple times, you do run the zone lead. We saw it with Oots. He gets out the backfield, one-on-one with a linebacker, gets to the flag, gets the football, a gain of 17, and we still haven't really seen them when they get inside the 5, when they want to pack it in, how they're going to use the big Oots, man. They just get influence. That's the biggest thing you get with a fullback. You do bring bodies to the party because with 2 running backs back there, they're going to bring another body into the box, but it's physical run, it's versatility, split zone, zone lead, getting out the backfield. I like it.
Third down. Oh, sorry, fourth down. Fourth down. What non-Seahawk are you looking forward to seeing Friday?
It's the only time I root for individual players on the opposite team is during preseason. And we got our guy, Gardner Minshew, is going to be in town. So, Cougs, you guys show up. You show Gardner Minshew some love. He was 6-9 for 54 yards. Their last outing, the first week of the preseason against the Arizona Cardinals. You got Bailey Zappi over there who got a bunch of time. He was 8 for 17, 70 yards and 2 interceptions. Now I got to chill for Minshew. You also have Watson over there. He's a Coug. He was banged up during practice this week. We'll see if he gets out there. But, yes, you want to win the game. You want to focus on the Seahawks and guys who perform. But my Cougs, we got 2 of them, at least 2 of them out there next week. I doubt Watson plays much if he plays at all. But Gardner Minshew will definitely be out there. He is the league's backup. I'm calling him the league's backup because he will bounce around forever.
I was also thinking he's got like the perfect everything for a backup. Not just skill set that's really transferable. Like he can be pretty mobile. He's also like he can be pretty accurate for short stretches of time. You know what I mean? Seems like a smart kid. He also is really likable and laid back and funny. He is like if you were to craft a backup, the mold of a backup quarterback where you were like, he's going to be supportive and well-liked in the locker room, but not really going to challenge anyone for time and become a big threat. It's exactly him.
Yeah. It's Minshew.
He's just going to leave the league and create a podcast with Barstool Sports.
It's going to be great. He'd probably jump on with McAfee. He has that type of personality.
Yeah. He's so likable. Rooting for him, too. It's easy. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp is brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Do we have another sports betting scandal, or is sarcasm just lost on way too many people? That's next.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh. Julio.
Up next, along 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car, but what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without selling it yourself? That's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. Seriously, they've already given back over $800,000 to customers. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're thinking. How are they able to do it? It's not a consignment because you get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value, no more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. Get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day.
You walk in, you walk out, you essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have quantum fiber internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
This is The Timeline.
With Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Do we have another sports betting scandal? I don't know about this one, you guys. Here's what's happening. Screenshots of old Venmo payments made by former Wazoo and now current Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer surfaced on Monday night. Now, here's the thing. This is his real Venmo, okay? For anyone who doesn't use Venmo at all, like any essentially social media website, you can add descriptions of why you're paying someone. So that's...
Oh, you're explaining Venmo, but I can't explain raising the roof.
Hang on.
Gotcha.
No, hang on. My mom doesn't know what Venmo is.
Gotcha. Your mom doesn't know what raising the roof is
Yes,
either.
she does. I'm going to text
Guarantee
her right now.
she does.
Yes, she does. Everyone knows what raise the roof means.
We have
Not
people texting
everyone,
who didn't. Just
Not
saying.
true. Not everyone.
Right.
Just people colluding with
Okay.
you, trying to support you. Not everyone knows what Venmo is.
Supporting me is
when
collusion.
I'm saying Venmo descriptions, I don't know that everyone knows what I'm talking about. Venmo descriptions, multiple transactions were labeled as sports gambling. So one said sports gambling, parentheses, UCLA versus USC. Another one said just sports gambling. He was a freshman at Wazoo in 2022 when these bets were allegedly placed, meaning he's obviously not supposed to be placing them if they were actually sports gambling bets. ESPN college insider Pete Thamel says Oklahoma is aware of the Mateer payments and that they are, I don't know, looking into it. He said Mateer's consistently denied it. Then Mateer posted a statement just a little bit ago saying these were just inside jokes between me and my friends. I've never actually bet on sports.
And I believe him.
Me too.
And the reason why I believe him is because I know at Washington State, they sit these kids down every year and say, look, this is what you can and can't do. And also, thankfully, my descriptions are private on Venmo.
Mm-hmm.
I will send some inappropriate things to my boys when I owe them money. You know what I mean? Use your imagination. I've sent some inappropriate things, just being funny. You know, you with your boys.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the whole thing. You're trying to make a joke.
Exactly. So
The
I believe him. I believe him in this sense. I've met the young man. I believe in his character. I think he's well informed. And he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks are just a bit different. So he was a young freshman quarterback, trying to have some fun. Didn't think it would blow up like this. I believe the kid.
I do too. There's absolutely now. Was it Porter Curtis that had like DraftKings account or some kind of account? Jonte Porter had it in his actual account name. So there are sometimes some dumb things that people will do when it comes to trying to cover up their tracks.
Mm-hmm.
This is so overt and in your face, and sports gambling, parentheses, UCLA versus USC is so clearly a joke that I just thought it was funny. When I first saw it, I thought it was a fake screenshot that someone had made, like a joke, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But no, I think that this is.
What do you make of the timing of it being like 2 weeks away from Oklahoma's season opener? Like, it's one thing to be a quarterback in the Pac-12 at Wazoo, like. That's an honor, obviously, but what they deal with in the SEC and what opposing fan bases will do to gain a competitive edge on another team, like I'm sure it was a Texas Longhorn fan.
Sure. They had it circulating in the forums when they were like trying to their SEC forums.
And Mateer was the highest ranked transfer, right? He was the #1 transfer in college football this year. So obviously, there's going to be somebody, working behind the scenes to try and throw off Oklahoma's season.
You gotta be kind of an idiot to think that someone would send publicly on Venmo a transaction for sports gambling and label it sports gambling. However, we're talking about the SEC. Next story. ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania recently spoke about the toll his job takes on his personal life. Cut 14.
I've had to walk out on dates. Like I've had to walk out on like social events, a lot of social events.
Very well.
My friends don't really like me. You know, that's why it's very hard to have a consistent relationship, because it's just like, you know, the time that requires, and you know the time that they deserve rightfully. And there are just moments where I'm just always going to choose this as of right now. The one thing that I do, like how I'm able to get away, is just family time. My whole family's in Chicago. I'm in Chicago. And so we're all like here. You know, we're all in very close proximity. So it's like the little things, right? It could be going on a walk. Could be going to mini golf. It could be playing pickleball, like just like watching a movie together. Now, again, I might not be fully present during those moments. Like we were literally playing pickleball. This is right before free agency. This is the weekend before free agency started. And I had to fly to Bristol. This is maybe that Friday before. And we were playing pickleball. And literally I lasted 10 minutes on the court. They were there for maybe an hour and a half. I was just literally pacing on the field for whatever it was, 50, 60 minutes, because that's just what it is. And so, but just trying to be present. And I think my family is gracious enough to where, like, as long as I'm in their presence, they don't make me feel bad. And I think having those types of people around me is what, you know, allows me to keep going.
Yeah, you can't have anyone who shames you for your work or the amount of time that certain jobs can take up when it comes to work, man or woman too. Like, I know sometimes people, like, this is my opinion, shame women and don't shame men, but whatever. You shouldn't shame anyone if they value their job and they care about their job, and sometimes it can be demanding. I can't imagine what it would, like, I think of regular demanding jobs that me or my friends or other people I know have. And then I think of like being an insider where it's midnight and you're on your phone and you're leaving a family function, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, it's gotta be insane.
Yeah. Now I think athletes deal with that to an extent too. Now you talk about the great athletes. They're great, one, because they have the physical ability to do it, but they dedicate themselves to their craft. Like, I have young men who are in the NFL now, and I talk to them and they ask for advice, and I say, look, I wouldn't recommend having a girlfriend. If you do, she better know, like, she's like third, you know, maybe even fourth, you know, football, family, religion, and then she falls into that category. I mean, it's not personal. It's just, this is where you are in your life. And he's in his prime. Sham's 31 years old. He just got this gig from Woj, a couple of years ago. He's got to be in goal mode. So it takes some sacrifice.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have time? Yes. Tom Brady was a guest on Joel Klatt's podcast and was asked about his first year as a Fox NFL broadcaster, cut 17.
I had a great year. I had the best team, and I had so many teammates that helped me through that first year. For me, I was like really going into the year, and I thought I was prepared because I had done a lot of research, and I had, you know, a year to kind of prepare and a lot of practice games, but there was absolutely nothing that I did that could really prepare me for what I was about to endure. And there was a lot of growing pains through the year for me, just in terms of prep, and then obviously going on air, and there's things you messed up, and there's things that you make mistakes, and probably a lot like being an NFL quarterback. Yeah. You know, you think, hey, I'm prepared, and I got it, and I practiced, and then, you know, you go in a real game of your rookie year, and you're like, oh my God, like, that's a lot different. It's a lot faster. Where are my eyes? What am I doing? And then, you know, it gets a little better in week 2 and a little better in week 3. And then sometimes you regress a little bit. And sometimes you do things you really like that impress you. And then sometimes you're like, you forgot completely going into week 9. Like, how did I do that? Or what was I talking about? And then it's just, you know, by the time I got to the Super Bowl, I was way more comfortable. And
Bump, you are a broadcaster. What's something where, when you think back to either early days with CW or Pac-12 Network, you're a very prepared person, but like preparedness didn't keep you from experiencing this?
Really just the flow of the game. I think you have to understand your play-by-play guy or her and their cadence, how they say things, knowing when to get in and get out, being quiet when the referee is talking. It's really just the process of a game. And then explaining it in a way that is knowledgeable, high IQ, but to where anyone listening can understand what you're saying. Like, Tom Brady could talk about football in a way that 90% of people aren't going to understand. So I'm sure a guy like him had to, like, dumb it down a little bit. It's like Jay-Z said one time, man. He said, honestly, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did $5 million. I ain't been rhyming like common sense. Like, no, I got to dumb it down for y'all because it's going to sell. That's essentially what I'm sure Tom Brady experienced.
Well, and like to dumb it down so that average consumers can still understand it, because I think that it would be interesting to be a fly on a wall listening to you and Clint Kubiak talk about the offense. I think I would take more away listening to your radio interview with Clint
sure.
Kubiak because I've never played. And I think I know a lot about football, but there are limitations if you've never played. I don't know who you think you are, how many times you play Madden. If you've never played at the professional level, if you've never played at the collegiate level, if you've never coached, there are just going to be limitations to what you can experience. Yeah. So, yeah, I always really enjoy it, watching it that way. But you're right. As the person saying it, as the person giving that information, having that constant filter of, okay, how do I dumb this down? Yep. how do I simplify this is pretty tough. Okay. Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin joining us at noon. We are live from Seahawks training camp. Hype Train coming your way next.
With preseason game 1 in the books.
Here's Milroe rolling out to the right side and throws a dart.
The work continues going into the final week of training camp. Whose stock is on the rise?
Jalen played well.
Who's on the bubble?
You know, Oots can run for a 270-pounder.
Nobody has the Seahawks covered like Seattle Sports.
You felt the line of scrimmage. You felt the physicality.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
On 710, the Seattle Sports app and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef. I need you to do something this weekend or any weekend. Get on I-5, drive north, and get off on exit 260. That's where you will find it. It's a great place to get away, to recharge, relax, and get your mind right. I've done it, and it works. They have great rooms. They're comfortable, they're spacious, and they have free Wi-Fi. They got tablets in there waiting for you as well. When you're all settled in, you're unpacked, go downstairs to the steakhouse or the cantina if you want some real Mexican food. They also have Porter's Bay Sports Bar where you can watch the games, have a drink. The TVs are everywhere, and my golfers, they got you covered as well. Loomis Trails Golf Course, a great golf course with 18 holes with water almost everywhere. Hit the ball straight. They got promotions going on as well. This month, you can win $10,000 every Saturday with a grand prize of $50,000. Have events going on as well. You want to check out some tickets, go to silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino Resort is not a secret anymore.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Top Fitness Stores. The Puget Sound's premier fitness equipment store is having a summer sale. Right now, they're offering the Inspire FT2 functional trainer at $2,000 off. Check out Precore's new 500 series treadmills and ellipticals. They're also offering the Inspire T5 fold-up treadmill at $500 off. Do you have an empty room in your house? Give Top Fitness your room dimensions and they'll do a complete fitness room design. Top Fitness also has the flooring to complete the fitness space you dream of. As always, get the best advice and service from the team of experts at Top Fitness with professional delivery and assembly. It's no secret that everyone from personal trainers to professional athletes loves Top Fitness. From simple items like weights and accessories to complete home gym packages. Check out the summer event now. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue. Or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bump and I are live from Seahawks training camp. Coming up in 15 minutes, we're going to be joined by Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin. A return trip for Shaquill with Seattle. Before we get to that, though, we got to head to the station for Hype Train. First train in. We're all wondering if it's actually going to happen. Micah Parsons gets traded before week 1.
Nah, it ain't going down. I'm not on that train, man. Come on, Jerry. And then the more this thing carries on, the more I look into conspiracy theories, how they're trying to promote this new documentary that's coming out for them. Jerry wants everyone talking about the Cowboys. We talk about them regardless because there's some things to be true. They're one of the most visible franchises in our country, the most viable in the world, Craig. And every year, there's enough talent there to make you think there could be something. But you look at that NFC West. You look at the Commanders, you look at the Eagles, and you know it's going to be tough for these guys. But, nah, man, come on, Jared. Go ahead and get this done in the drama.
Micah Parsons gets traded before week 1. Bump is not boarding because he doesn't believe in fun and in making this team better. Curtis, are you boarding?
Well, as a believer in fun.
Yep, I know that's right.
Oh, yeah, Micah Parsons getting dealt. You know it. It's happening. And we're boarding this train. So
right, Curtis. Making the right call.
Where he goes, sure, why not here in Seattle? I would love it. I would love it if the Seahawks went and traded for Micah Parsons. Not just for what the on-field production could be like, but, you know, he's a content king in the NFL.
Love it.
And who knows what his relationship with DeMarcus Lawrence is like these days. I mean, that is such a layer to this Seahawks team we haven't had in a long time. It's like, what's this guy doing, you know, on social media? What's this guy doing everywhere you look? Mm-hmm. So, Micah Parsons, come here to Seattle. Exactly.
Thank you, Curtis. That's exactly the attitude I'm looking for this Hype Train. Bump really let us down. I'm not boarding this one. I don't think Micah Parsons gets traded before week 1. Curtis is on his own. Bye, Curtis. Next Hype Train
See you guys.
into the station. The Mariners get a 3rd straight series sweep.
That's a big one. That's a big ask. You are now on the road. Crazy things happen on the road. I think they're going to get the win, but I'm not going to be greedy, man. I mean, 10 in a row would be nice. We saw 14 in a row at one point. That's when I first got this gig in, 2022 or something like that, 23.
What a way to start.
14 in a row. I was the reason. I was the good luck charm, but that luck has worn off. I no longer have any influence on these guys, and I think they win the series, but I don't think they get a sweep.
The Mariners get a 3rd series sweep. Bump is saying, look, I want a board. I would if it was a series win, but I can't go with a sweep here. That's a lot of games in a row. It's rare. Curtis, are you boarding this train?
I'm looking at this matchup tonight. I think the Mariners have a good shot at winning this one. You've got pretty good starters all throughout this series. Kirby, Gilbert, and Castillo in all 3 games. And the Orioles have packed it in this season. They've got nothing to play for. I think the Mariners get out the brooms. They sweep aside the Orioles. It's going to be a sweep for them, so we're boarding that train. I'm looking at the Orioles' next few games. Like, it's all against really good teams.
Yeah, they got
3
a tough
against
one.
the Mariners, 3 against the Astros, the Red Sox, the Astros again, and then the Red Sox again. So they're going to be in for a world of hurt over the next month or so. And I think it starts tonight and this week against the Mariners.
Shockingly, I'm also boarding this train. I don't think it's, in theory, likely. It's incredibly rare to get 3 sweeps in a row, to win 10 in a row, 11 in a row. Like, it's just not something that happens. However, the Mets are 1-11 in their last 12. And if the opposite can be true, then why not? Then why not going, let's say, 10-0 in your last 10 or 11-0 in your last 11? Why not? Sure, I'll board this train. Next up. Sticking with the Mariners, Gino Suarez in a bit of a slump since being acquired by Seattle. That's okay, though. He's healthy. He's ready to party. And he breaks out of his slump today with a home run.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I can't just keep letting these trains go by, especially when we're talking about Gino. He's due. He is due. And he's only got 1 bomb so far since coming back to the Mariners. But I think that he needs to hit the road and experience new vibes, new feels. You know, when you travel, you hop off the plane, the air just smells different. Everything, your senses are different. That's what he's going to feel. He's going to be his stimulus is going to be on a different level. The vibe's going to be the same, and the bat is going to get hot.
It's actually what I love most about coming back to Seattle sometimes, is you get off the plane and there's like a crispness.
Yeah.
Gino Suarez breaks out of his slump with a home run today. Bump is boarding. Curtis, are you?
He's never homered off of Dean Kramer, but that was before, and this is now. And it happens tonight. Gino Suarez going yard. We're boarding the train. He only gets 1. I don't think he gets a multi-home run game tonight, but I think he goes yard, and the vibes remain immaculate.
More like done, Kramer, because Gino's going to homer off of him and send him out of this game.
You told
They're going to
him.
call in the bullpen with that one. So I'm going to call I'm going to go like a top of the 5th kind of deal. Maybe knock him out a little early.
Top of the 5th.
Next up. Thumbs aren't fingers. This is a debate that we were having earlier. Jordan Love is going to have surgery to repair a torn ligament in the thumb on his left hand. He is going to be fine for week 1, but it sparked debate wherein Bump doesn't believe me that I don't necessarily. Thumbs are clearly fingers, but if I said lift up a finger, you're not lifting up your thumb. That's not what you're doing. Are you boarding this hype train?
I'm going to do it from now on.
No, you're not.
From now on.
Are you doing this hype train? Thumbs are not fingers.
We already had this debate. You know where I'm going. Thumbs are
this is
fingers.
stubbornness.
You got 5 fingers. You ever heard of the saying?
5-finger discount?
Exactly. It's not 4-finger discount in a thumb.
I know, but
because you can't swipe whatever it is with just the 4 fingers, right?
You actually could. I think you could.
It'd be tough.
Well, Bump would know. How'd you take that oat milk from the store the other day? Did you use just 4 fingers? Did you pick it up with your whole hand? Did you put it in the cart
life
and
of
walk
thievery.
You know what? I went shopping yesterday.
Non-dairy delinquent.
And I made sure I paid for everything yesterday, though. I made sure.
They were like, that's the guy that keeps stealing oat milk on accident. Bump is not boarding this train. Thumbs aren't fingers. Curtis, are you boarding?
I'm not boarding.
Okay. Cool.
I think, the thumb.
You guys aren't scientists.
The thumb
That's
works maybe the hardest of all the fingers. I think it deserves the respect.
Is that the argument I said?
I think it's definitely a finger for sure. So we're not boarding that train. Respect to the thumb. It's maybe the most important of all the fingers.
Definitely the most important.
So yeah, we're not boarding.
Yeah, if I were to choose any one digit from my hand to not have, the thumb would be the last I'd choose. I said earlier they're the offensive lineman of the hand, and I believe that. They're right in the trenches. But they're just like a little bit different. You know how like you wouldn't say like skill players. You're talking wide receivers. You know what I mean? You're talking your tight ends. You're talking about running backs. You're not really talking about the offensive linemen, even though offensive linemen are a skilled player. You wouldn't say, I think the 4 fingers are your skill position players, okay? Is your X. Is your Y. This guy right here.
You know what they all are, though?
That's one of those little circles.
They're all football players.
They are.
They're all football players.
They are, but just slightly different jobs. You know what I mean? Slightly different categories.
Which finger's the most useless? Like if you got it cut off, you wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, probably the pinky.
I'm thinking my right ring finger. That one does nothing for me. Right? Like, you don't put anything on it.
No.
It doesn't do anything.
Because I don't think your
jack up my golf swing.
Yeah,
if
I don't.
get it out.
I think that if you had to choose a finger that you had to lose, who isn't choosing pinky? Particularly like your opposite of your dominant hand.
Hey,
pinky.
Ronnie Lott had his pinky cut off
In the middle of the season, yeah.
And still
did his
thrived. Unfortunately,
Now,
Curtis, I
he's
see
Leonard
you trying
Williams'
to make,
father-in-law.
I see you trying to make a devil's advocate argument against getting rid of the pinky, but I think that might be the weakest of the 4 fingers, 8 total that we have. All right, coming up next, Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
Hey, college students, Safeway is giving you 5% off. That's right, junior colleges, tech schools, universities. Just verify your student ID in the app, unlock exclusive deals, and shop on the app or in person. Better yet, subscribe to Fresh Pass to get free delivery and other special offers. Remember, if you use EBT, Fresh Pass is 50% off and you get savings on fresh produce. For all the details, visit Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FOR in the letter U.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In store, online, and on the app. In 23 while supplies last.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade. and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners are back today, opening up a 3-game series against the Orioles on the road. George Kirby's on the mound for Game 1. First pitch at 3:35 p.m. Pre-game show at 2:30 right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. We're going to be joined in just minutes by Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin, back for another stint with Seattle. Bump, it's hot out. I don't love it. I don't love it.
Washingtonians, y'all complain about everything.
Well,
it's too hot.
Really good at
it's too cold.
Yeah.
It rains too much. We need rain.
Too full. Yeah.
Come on,
well,
man.
The weather is just a little, has a mind of its own. It's, on the one hand, the most beautiful place, and on the other, 90 degrees here feels like a bajillion degrees.
That's what I love about Washington, though, because growing up in California, it was just this all the time. Like, I get all the seasons here. I love it.
You like that you get. What's the grossest weather you've played in? Like the most extreme version of something where you were like, never again? And B, what's one where you're like, not a lot of people love it, but I'll gladly play in that?
I like playing in heat. We played in Arizona one time. It was like almost 100 degrees out there. I actually kind of like it.
Couldn't be me.
The most extreme, when I was in playing in the Canadian Football League, it was like -10 or something like that.
Was it snowing?
It wasn't snowing. It was -10. That's what I'm saying. Like, it better be snowing. If I'm playing that, it might as well be snowing. But it was -10. The ground was like cement. It was in Saskatchewan we played, and it was rough.
See, saying the ground is like cement is what makes me think about what would be. There are many things that would be infinitely harder about playing in really, really cold weather because, look, when it's really hot outside, they're going to have cooling fans on the sideline. They're going to try to keep you guys hydrated. It's going to be really annoying and really tough, but, like, you know, you can play through that. Cold weather, I remember Michael Bennett talking about how it felt like their tears when they were playing in Minnesota for that wild card game were like freezing their eyes shut.
Yeah.
That it was so cold. It felt like if we had water anywhere in our body, it would freeze. So like you wouldn't sweat.
Oh no, that's the worst
dehydrated.
part. Is you sweat and now you're just freezing. Like I sweat a lot, so I would have to change my shirt at halftime, my under stuff. It was miserable.
God, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't like it. Well, I will say it's a beautiful day out at Seahawks training camp. The last day that we're going to be out here. And our first time talking with Shaquill since he's been back in Seattle. Tell me about this, I don't want to say just the corner battle, but a lot of the depth that they have in this room. There's a lot to be figured out, a lot of spots being battled over, and also a lot of versatility.
Yeah, there's, you got Shaquill, you got Job, you got Pritchett, you have Watson over there. There are 3 guys who have complete job security, and that's Reek Woolen, That's Devin Witherspoon. Actually, 2 when it comes to the corner spot. I always factor in kind of Nicky Mawari sometimes because when he plays big nickel, Spoon hops outside. But I think that's a good place to be. That's a good place to be, is having options when it comes to that corner spot, but also having things you know to be true. These guys are going to perform, and you pretty much know what you're going to get out of them. I think out of that group, it's all about Reek Woolen. Reek Woolen, man, can he take another step in his development as a pro? I think that he can. And it's crazy how sometimes guys end up playing crazy because it's contract year. You might get that extension. So I'm hoping Reek falls in line and does exactly that.
Someone said, hey, I'd love to hear more about your time in the Canadian Football League to compare and contrast. They said, if you've already done it on air, I'm sorry. I just haven't heard it, but I'd love to hear your story.
Of what?
They want to hear you talk about the Canadian Football League a little bit, kind of comparing and contrasting that experience with being in the NFL, or even like in college, kind of like what stood out most about being in the CFL.
I'd say the most depressing thing about the CFL is I was the first team to be in this lovely facility, Virginia Mason Athletic Center. And after they cut me, told me I wasn't good enough to play on this team, I go up to Canada, and the facility is like not even half of this. It's like an 18th of this. The facility is so small. You don't get gloves whenever you want to. You don't get cleats whenever you want to. I've heard things have changed for the CFL, but back then, I was sitting there thinking, like, this is what it's come to.
Wait, you didn't have to buy your own stuff, did you?
I bought my own cleats. I bought my own cleats. They gave me one pair of cleats, but you know, here I had practice cleats. I had game cleats. I would switch my game cleats to my practice cleats, get some more game cleats. Like, it was just, the amenities and luxury was crazy. That was jacked up about the CFL. What I did like about the CFL, though, is that I get a running start from the slot. I get to run towards the line of scrimmage from the start. And there's no way anyone can cover me when I'm running at you already and you are standing still. I love that about
What else
the CFL.
is very different about actually playing it? Like, what felt most different outside of that?
The field is wider. It's about 10 yards wider. It's about 20 yards longer. So if you see anybody running past and around guys on kick return or even on offense, they are moving because there's a lot of ground to cover over there.
Respectfully, was there a quality of play where, because again, you were a 5-star athlete, you played for a D1 school. Obviously, you were in the league. Was there a quality of play in the CFL where you were like, I'm gonna dominate this dude?
They're all professionals. Let's not get it twisted.
Okay.
Like, they are pros. It's not like you're playing against some JV dudes. If a guy like JSN were to go down to the CFL, he'd be like, yeah, this is money. A guy like me, I was barely scraping to make the league. So with me, it was like there was still comp, but there definitely weren't the headhunters and the ballers per capita as there were in the NFL.
I'm just thinking about it because, Curtis, the other day you mentioned that Luke Wilson is kind of like creating actually a pretty big career in Canada as a sports broadcaster, and in particular is kind of like not a hot take artist per se, but like as someone with some fiery takes about the CFL. And I was thinking, you know, culturally, I don't know if like what sports broadcasting there is like. Like, I know the networks, but I'm like, I don't know, Stephen A. Smith is here. I don't think he says all kinds of crazy things. Like, no one really bats an eye anymore. But maybe that type of hot take artist isn't as common. But more importantly, he's Luke Wilson, been on a Super Bowl team. Like, you've been on an NFL team that had the best defense of that era. So you've seen quite literally peak NFL play.
Yeah.
One of the best, most dominant Super Bowl teams we've seen. You've seen the best. So it would be hard not to go to another league and go, honestly, like, here's my issue with this, this, and this.
Yeah, and Wilson, he is Canadian, so he's grown up watching the game, and I'm sure his perspective is valuable because he does see the game differently, and he has that personality. Watching film, preparing for a Canadian team as a broadcaster, for him, I would assume is a bit different. Like, the game might just be a tidbit slower than it is watching an NFL game. But it's better. I still think it's better than college ball, though. It's not like it's an even playing field between CFL and college. It's definitely better than college, but
it gets a little more hate than it deserves. Or a little more disrespect or not as much attention as it probably deserves.
It's also because you're only allowed to have X amount of Americans on the team. Like, when I was playing, it was like 10 or 11 or something like that. So It's Canadians, you know. These aren't the guys who are bouncing back from the NFL. You can tell the bounce backs from the NFL.
Yeah.
They just move different.
Do you think that they still have that rule and then people lie about being American?
I'm sure they check birth certificates and citizenship and all that good stuff.
I just like the idea of someone maybe lying about it and then trying to be like, okay, how do I, like maybe they get found out. I don't know how you'd get found out being an American. There would be some kind of test, you know, in Inglourious Bastards when he's like lifting up the number 3 and he's doing it wrong. Like there's got to be some very key tell about like, that dude is absolutely American.
They probably just make you say a word. And as soon as you don't say the word the way you're supposed to say it, like, or they make you spell color because they use a U.
Use?
Yeah, like, spell color.
They're like, and how would you spell center, hypothetically? How would you spell that? And you're like, well, how would you spell it? I don't know. I mean, I think that, you know, it's kind of up for interpretation.
You know?
It's however you want to spell it, I always say. Again, we're going to be joined in just a bit by Shaquill Griffin. Let's see. I think they just wrapped up with some work like a minute or 2 ago. So, he's going to be on his way out in a second. But I am so excited to just see this season get underway. And maybe because it's our last day, I keep needing to remind myself, Bump, we got 2 more whole preseason games to play with these guys.
Yeah. It's it's going to happen fast. And I'm excited for that. Obviously, this Friday, you got not the Patriots, the Chiefs coming into town. Another opportunity for these 2s and 3s to establish themselves. And I'm wondering how much playing time the ones are going to get. But, yeah, it's moving quickly, though.
How much playing time would you give, let's say, Sam Darnold? More than 1 drive?
You get 1 drive, buddy. 1 drive, unless he goes out there and tosses a 80-yard bomb on the first drive. I'm like, okay, come back and do another one. Like, let's see you in a second down situation. Let's see different personnel groups out there. But 1 series, and not shut him down until the Niners.
What are we actually watching for if Sam goes? Assuming he does play. I'm assuming Sam's going to play at least a drive. What are we actually looking for from Sam?
We're looking for good decision-making. The execution isn't always going to be on point. No one completes 100% of their passes. No one is perfect, but good decision-making. That's what I want to see. And then when he is in shotgun and pressure is being shown, can he check into the right protection to cover himself? So, yeah, just looking for just little things, man. I'm not worried about stats or anything like that, man. It's just about, look like an NFL quarterback, getting out the huddle, good decision-making.
All right, again, we're joined right now by Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin, who is back in Seattle for another stint. Hi, Shaquill. Good to have you. It's cool to see you back out here.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
I was just saying, so I remembered, obviously, when you were drafted and covering you. And then how many kids do you have now?
I got 3 now.
That made me feel, now, maybe you feel older. Do you know how old I felt? Do you know how offended I was? How dare you have a beautiful family?
Oh, yeah.
You're growing up so fast. What's the last couple years been like?
Oh, man, it's been fast. The last couple years, got engaged, got a newborn. Oh, man, it's just, you know, life. Growing up, doing some great things, you know, getting to some, a lot of off-the-field stuff, too, with my twin brother being retired. So it's been a lot of awesome things, actually.
Very cool.
That's cool, man. You know, with you coming over here and welcoming back, I was always thinking about, all right, how is the transition going to be for, you know, Griffin coming out here and doing his thing. And there are a few positions where I feel like it's easier just to get inserted and go right now. You know what I mean? I look at running back as I look, running zone right, man. Just run the dang zone. And with corner, I feel like it's easier to get back in because there's a lot of stuff I think you can take in to help you. But most part is like, all right, 3 don't get beat, 4 don't get deep, 2 sit in the flat and man up. Am I right with that?
Yeah. A lot of it is just different terminology. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, we still playing as a corner. You playing either man-to-man or you playing some type of zone. But a lot of it is just different terminology. So it's funny because I felt like as soon as I got here, I started picking up on the playbook really quick. You know, it wasn't something that took me a long time. You know, now it's just getting back to getting the reps, put my feet on the ground, and just seeing it happen, you know, full speed. Yeah, man, it's all the same thing. You know, it's different words, but I pick up on it and I try to find ways to make sure I can remember it the best way.
Obviously, you're familiar with Pete Carroll. Did anything stand out about differences with Mike McDonald?
Oh, man, yeah. He's younger.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, but no, man. His energy is contagious. You know, that's one thing that reminds me of what Pete used to do. But one thing about it, you know, he's keeping this culture, you know, where it's players oriented, but we work extremely hard. And I love that part about Mike because we're going to attack today. We're not going to wait for anybody. We're going to go get it today and make sure we prepare because we want to get the games to be a lot easier. And that's one of his messages. So I love that part. Especially being a vet and an older guy, sometimes fast you veer away from the little things, and to hear him to get back to that, you know, to taking this one step at a time and checking off each box. That's what you need to be a great organization, and I love that about Mike.
How was your game physically, mentally changed over the years?
Oh, well, for me, mentally it changed and slowed down for me so I can use less speed and more technique. Right. So, you know, I definitely learned that, you know, getting a chance to talk to a lot of the younger guys, you know, they're asking me, you know, a lot of questions about different tips and different techniques. I said, only thing that's in between, you know, me and the young guy is I just seen that rep maybe 1,000 more times than you did, but I can show you what helped me learn it earlier so you can start to get that now. So you don't have to wait to see that 1,000 reps before you can actually, you know, get this technique. So that's some of the things that I'm trying to bring, you know, to the table. You know, you'll see me definitely doing individual drills or whatever the case may be, pulling young guys to the side to give them a chance to coach them up so, you know, we don't make the same mistake twice. But, man, it's been cool. It's been cool to find that role.
I was trying to find, because obviously you were with the Vikings when Sam Darnold clearly was there, and there was that big locker room moment, and I went to watch the video, and if you guys haven't seen the video, which went viral last year, just go search, like, Sam Darnold locker room mobbed. Like, just absolutely. And as I was looking it up, and I go, I wonder if I can see Shaquill. Like, I wonder. Yep, I can absolutely see you. You are front and center. It's too dark for you to see, but you are, like, right here throwing water on Sam Darnold. You're leading the charge. Oh, you're leading the charge.
It's a celebration. You know, I love my boy Sam, man. It's a celebration.
Take us inside that locker room. What, I mean, what was that like?
Man, from the time he got there, you know, everybody know Sam's story up to, you know, being a Viking, and from the change that he's made, you know, the improvements that he have made. You know, he showed that he can be, if not the top quarterback in this league, and I love that about Sam. You know, we compete. You know, I remember being with him last year and letting him know, you know, between different coverages and stuff that he may see, we're gonna get each other better. You know, we're gonna make it as hard as possible. We're gonna make each call or check or disguise as hard as possible, and we're gonna make this game easier. And you know, one thing about it, he took that, you know, 100% and made sure he got better with it. And it shows because you can see the plays he's making here, right there in practice and this year in camp. Man, I got a lot of love for Sam, man. One thing about it, we're gonna get each other better. And, you know, we're going to make sure we're going to be right for these games.
Hopefully you guys can replicate this celebration. It was just so funny. I was like, maybe I'll see him. I don't know. You were right in front of the video.
It's going to happen again.
You're basically the star of the video.
We're going to have some celebrations. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again for sure.
You mentioned your brother being retired and him doing off-the-field stuff. How's he doing? What's he doing? And how have you helped with what he's got going on?
Ooh, I don't know if you have a time for all of it, but it's a lot. You know, it's a big thing right now. He's starting his own motivational speaking firm. You know, he's big in the tech world, you know, especially doing stuff for, you know, adaptive, being kind of bringing more inclusivity when it comes to adaptive clothing, or let's say if you got a limb difference, you want to play hockey or, you know, tennis or baseball. He's coming up with, you know, different tech for anybody to make sure you can be on the same playing field, the same level. You know, it's all equal. It doesn't matter if you got a limb difference or you don't, you know. So he got maybe 12 tech companies. He got a manufacturing company. He has a private jet firm. He has a movie coming out. It's a lot. It's a lot. But he stays busy, and it's cool because, you know, me seeing it outside looking in, you know, still being in football, to see the things he's doing off the field, you know, everything gonna be all right.
Does he still get, I would imagine, still approached quite a bit. It probably never gets old to have, especially kids, right, or parents of kids that come up and talk to him about stories. Does he still get a lot of that?
Yeah, it doesn't change. And he's very open there. He loves that. You know, I tell him times we'll be walking through the airport. When we both was playing together, I'd be the one walking with my head down so we don't be seen. And he hoodie off, face up. Like, it's almost like he said, hey, man, it's Shaquill and Griffin here. Y'all come get your picture. So he embraced that. He loves that part. And, man, that's one thing that he excelled in. You know, he's very, you know, open and warming for people to be, you know, to greet him. And he loves that. He takes full responsibility for that. He loves that.
What's preparation like for you? This is a long way home from you, man. I assume you go back down to Florida. Have you been working with the same people? Has your camp changed a little bit? How's that evolved?
Oh, yeah, it changed up. I started finding ways to get with coaches that work on certain things. There might be one coach that work on just agility, quick feet stuff. There might be another coach who just work on just specifically technique. Then you got your own weight trainer, and then the rehab and the recovery is a whole thing now. You know, I remember I was talking to Richard Sherman and Nico Thorpe earlier, and I was saying, yeah, you know, when you hit 30, the warm-up's a little different. You know, I seen one guy who was 21, I think he, you know, hit a couple twists and he hit the field. And I was like, yeah, I might need another hour. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up though. But you know, after a while, you know, you start to figure out what works, and you just continue to do it, you know, consistently, you know, doing the same thing over and and over again, and it works out.
I remember asking a player before you were here, but a player who had recently turned like 31. I remember asking him, like, well, what things changed? And he was like, you start feeling okay about Wednesday, Thursday, and then all of a sudden you got to like turn it around. How does what else changes? So outside of obviously it takes longer to recover, longer to get ready. It's just the nature of aging. Was there like dietary changes, like a lifestyle? And obviously you've got like the kids. Like what else changes?
Oh yeah, so I tried different things. I was vegan for about 3 years. That was tough.
I bet.
Tough.
I've done it. I did it for 6 months.
Yeah, pescatarian. I tried it. 2 months. And then it was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start eating clean and lean. I'm gonna still eat the stuff that I like, but I'm gonna just cut the portions in half and start. And then the kids are just candy, and Debbie cakes and sweets. It's easier when I'm away here at camp and let them at home while they still doing that stuff. Because man, then each pregnancy, you know. I feel like I was getting pregnant too, so you know she gained weight, I gained weight.
Out of support.
Out of support.
Out of support.
Yes, no doubt about it.
I took many trips to Jack in the Box late night for the wife when she was pregnant.
And I'm taking a trip. I'm out getting some fries. I took a trip. I'm out here.
You ever tell her like I'm doing this for you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some. It's 1 o'clock.
I don't want to be rude. I don't want you to feel weird.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
We talked about like the changes with Mike McDonald here. Are there still some things that remind you of Pete Carroll in this building?
Things that remind me of Pete Carroll is just it's still the energy, you know. Even when we go to the team meeting room, you know, we get what we have to get done, but we find ways to make sure, you know, it's interactive, you know, it's fun, you know, get a chance to take that deep breath and understand this is what we love to do. You want to love being here, you know, and that same culture Pete had here. You know, one thing about it, you want to be a person that can, you know, come here early and stay long, you know, but we want to be here because we love the culture that we had around this locker room and around here with this coaches. So, you know, I feel that same energy, you know, it's easy to get up in the morning to come here and be here all day. So, you know, that's the one thing that, you know, Pete carried, and I feel like Mike keeping that same tradition where, you know, one thing about it, we're going to take care of you guys enough where you want to be here every day. So it's been awesome.
Now, there might be a little bias here because you are loved by fans. You and your brother, fan favorites for sure, even coming back. So who knows if everyone has this experience, but you've now experienced some other fan bases. I'm not saying who's better, but do you...
You can ask me.
Oh, who's best? Who's best?
The 12. The 12. Every time. Yeah, you can ask me. I'll give you my honest opinion. The 12 has always been the best. And the one thing about it, coming back full circle around, you know, I feel like nothing changed, man. No love lost. And one thing about it, man, I missed them. Missed them, man. No doubt about it. But, yeah, best fans in the world.
You excited about stepping into the throwbacks? You seen them? That was a clean.
I'm definitely excited about that. I ain't have all that when I was here. So, yeah, I'm excited about, you know, getting into the uniforms, man. And I got to make sure my drip is right.
There you go.
I got to make sure I'm right. I can't let these young guys, you know, show me up like that.
Gotta let him know.
Yeah.
He is Seahawks cornerback Shaquill Griffin. It's great to have you back in camp. You're such a good energy to be around. I'm sure listeners are absolutely love hearing from you again. So congratulations on all of the developments, not just with your brother, which is very cool, but with your family, and it's cool seeing you back out here, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you guys having me again.
All right, we're going to stay in segment for a couple minutes, but we are going to not take up any more of your time, so you're free to go. Thank you, Shaquill. We appreciate it. It was really cool getting a chance to touch base again with Shaquill. I'm glad he mentioned, you know, I'm not going to lie, 12's always the favorite. He is absolutely a fan favorite. Like, there have been, I mean, when Seahawks fans, maybe this is true for any fan base, when Seahawks fans love a dude, I mean, there were people coming over taking videos. He's getting autographs right now from people. Look at him. Just so nice.
It's 2019 he was drafted. We used to do this thing, 100 yards with bumpers, where I walk 100 yards and I interview these guys. Then COVID had to come around and just shut that whole thing down. And so I went back and I watched the interview we did 6 years ago. And he's still the same guy, but like we experienced with Drew Lock, there's just a maturation that happens, a confidence that's there, and you hope that stuff rubs off on these guys out here too. Like same thing with Drew and Milroe. So it's important. I think that's a perfect example of why you need veterans in the building. It's because there's this energy that they give off that you hope these young guys kind of catch on to.
Speaking of energy, you know what I thought was really interesting when we asked him, obviously you were coached by Pete Carroll when you first got here. Now your head coach is completely different. Mike McDonald, what's the biggest difference? And he pointed out, of course, age, with Mike McDonald being a good 30 years younger. But then he said, but he still has a lot of energy. I was surprised, and not in a bad way to hear that, but the one thing I always hear, 9 out of 10 times, you know this, we'll ask guys about Mike Macdonald, they're like, he's so smart.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
Hearing someone talk about Mike Macdonald's personality, I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's because we don't know him that well yet. With Pete Carroll, you have over a decade of pre-game, post-game, off-season. You know, you get to know someone. You can almost predict what they're going to say based off the question. With Mike Macdonald, we're all learning him, and these guys are learning him too. And when you have a veteran like Griffin come off and say some of the things he says about Macdonald, that means he's giving a great first impression. He's been around the block, you know. Mike Macdonald's only, 6-7 years older than Shaq Griffin. So it's that was just good to hear, because you need that affirmation sometimes. And we've gotten a lot of affirmation on Mike Macdonald throughout this training camp.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners are on tonight. They start their road trip tonight in Baltimore. Pregame starts early, 2:30 p.m. First pitch, 3:35 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Taking a look around the NFL next.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
The pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we are going to start with Cam Hayward and under the radar hold-in. We've been talking a lot about some different contract situations, but not so much with this one. Steelers defensive tackle Cam Hayward, Adam Schefter of ESPN asking if this could drag out into the regular season, cut 15.
Here's the issue, is the Steelers addressed the contractual issues of a lot of players this offseason from the outside. DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, Darius Slay. Then within the organization, of course, they took care of TJ Watt. And Cam Hayward, I believe he's 36 years old and he's playing at an incredibly high level. So he knows there probably aren't that many more years for him to get taken care of, and he wants to be taken care of because his salary ranks him, I think, as the 36th highest paid defensive lineman or defensive tackle. He's due to make $14 million, and he wants a raise. And he basically said as much yesterday.
Cam Hayward's in that kind of fascinating sweet spot with contracts bump for me, which is less obvious than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is young. He's going to be great for a long time. Cowboys, why aren't you paying him? You're stupid. Cam Hayward is more of, in theory, this should be the sweet spot where a team can still get the most out of a guy that they aren't paying a ton anymore because he's in maybe the later part of a deal, right. Or, you're 35, you're 36, you're not going to get as much. For him, for the player, he's still performing and also technically underpaid for what he's doing.
Yeah, that's the tough part of negotiations for a guy his age. Because you can still be producing.
Yeah.
You can still be one of the best in the game.
You can still be underpaid.
But when it comes to negotiating, it's all about using your leverage. And their leverage is, look, man, you got some gray in that beard, dog.
Mm-hmm.
We can get a younger guy to do your job. Probably not to your level, but we can do it. Do it for cheap. So it's tough, man. But organization like the Steelers typically take care of their guys and do the right things. So I think relationship is going to be big as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, once some grays start coming in, different ball game.
It's tough. It really is. It's kind of like sometimes it's just like the bad nature of signing certain deals where, maybe the team would be losing if you weren't performing, but then we're getting paid a ton of money for not really doing much of anything or contributing. His is the exact opposite, where it's like you're not going to get some massive deal, but you do have to, unfortunately, just deal with being very underpaid for what you're contributing to a team. We mentioned in headline rewrites yesterday that Matthew Stafford was expected to be practicing on Monday and then didn't. So why didn't he practice Monday as originally planned? Sean McVay in Cut 16 answered that question after Rams practice.
Like we've said, we're going to be flexible and fluid. I think more than anything, I feel for Matthew because of how much he wants to be out there and feel good. Ultimately, what ended up happening, had a great workout, felt good, but then, come in today and it doesn't feel great. And so didn't think that was the right decision to be able to push him. We've kind of always talked about flexibility, being fluid with some of the plans. And I think more than anything, I feel for a guy that, I really care about, that wants to be out there more than anything else. We're going to be smart, but he didn't feel good enough, and we didn't think it was the right thing to do based on, how he woke up feeling today.
For what it's worth, Bump, Sean McVay was also asked, hey, have you guys discussed surgery? Like, is that something that you guys are considering? And he said, no, we haven't even discussed that. That's not really something we're talking about.
Well, that's good. And with Matthew Stafford, as I'm listening to Sean McVay speak about their approach and what they're going to do and not do, I thought Allen Iverson, practice. There's only a few people who can be like, man, we're talking about practice. I'm going to be fine. I have hundreds of thousands of reps at this position. It's not like I'm at a developmental part. Now, chemistry is important. There will be some rustiness. I mean, you do gain from practice, but we're talking Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Famer.
Talking a tier 1.
Yeah, tier 1. He'll be all right. He'll be just fine. You just make sure he's healthy. That's the most important part.
Bills Pro Bowl running back James Cook has returned to practice after sitting out the last 4 days amid a contract dispute of his own. He's eligible for a contract extension heading into his 4th season.
He didn't get that money yet, though. He just decided to come back. So that tells me that there's some good conversations going on. I hope so, at least. Because like I encourage Kyron Williams, do not practice unless you feel like they're going to take care of you regardless of what happens. Anything happens. We've seen a couple offensive linemen in their season off of just a practice rep. So James Cook, he held out. Hopefully the point was made and they're on common ground because he, 14 touchdowns last year, I believe he had. He's a big part of what they want to do with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I think that naturally people can do this thing of saying, oh, well, they have, and then if it's like a Josh Allen, but they don't need you. You're dispensable. Or maybe you see that the Bills aren't dealing with like the wide receiver group that a team like the Vikings has, and you go, oh, well, you don't need star talent because your quarterback's so good. And it's like, well, wait a minute, hang on.
Yeah.
Like part of why Josh Allen is able to do what he does is James Cook, and freeing up the run the way Allen can helps out James Cook. It's a very symbiotic relationship that in theory the Bills should try to their best to keep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's head back to the NFC West here, talk 49ers. When should we expect to see Brandon Ayuk back on the field for San Francisco? Kyle Shanahan said Brandon Ayuk is aiming to return around week 5 or 6 of the regular season. Yes, that would mean he misses the season opener against the Seahawks. So, obviously.
Oh, I thought there was some sound going on with that.
No.
Oh, I'm just waiting for the sound. I'm like, yeah, okay. Is it rolling or not?
Just nodding.
Yeah, you got it, Stacy. Great job there. Where's the sound coming?
No sound. What's a 49ers team without Ayuk?
It's a team that is still capable of being a good offense. You still got Kittle, you got Pearsall, you got Juwan Jennings.
So they should still be great. It's not like Kyle Shanahan isn't there. Like that's been, central to you improving. Brock Purdy just got extended. He's still there. Yeah, you don't have Debo, but was Debo even Debo last year? You know what I mean? Like you've, in theory, still got a lot of pieces, but so many people are talking about them being in that kind of transition mode. Herm Edwards, who we had on the show earlier, said they're kind of in transition. Like he's not looking at the 49ers thinking they're going to make a ton of waves.
I think they got one above average season in them, and then after that, who knows? You got to see who's healthy, who's going to be back, the contracts or whatnot. If I were sympathetic towards the 49ers fan base, it would be in the sense that they've had all these opportunities to become champions and it's fallen short every single time.
Yeah, it's like for a minute there you were clearly the best team in the NFC. I mean, the Eagles beating them in the championship and then moving on, and then vice versa, obviously, when the Eagles got the better of you when you were down to like 0 quarterbacks. Yeah, it's a bummer you weren't able to win Super Bowls, but my heart can only
I wonder if
so close to breaking
Shanahan,
for a 49er.
like, what's the Shanahan-Lynch relationship after this? Like, does the organization move on, or do you allow them to rebuild? Does Shanahan, do they want a fresh start? Does Shanahan want to go somewhere else? Like, it's this is going to be big on Shanahan's legacy up to this point, man. He's got to get into a Super Bowl. I hope he doesn't, but for his own sake, he's got to make that happen and win the big one.
I think the most interesting thing about the Shanahan legacy is how much, because for a minute there they had the best skill position group in football.
Yeah.
And so it was a brilliant play caller who could also make the most of like a lot of weapons. What does a brilliant play caller do with weapons that are like B grade? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think his offense is perfect for the B grade. It is, because it's not.
But can it be Super Bowl?
It could be, but I don't think his weapons are B grade. I still think it's a low A.
Not right now.
You know, maybe in a couple of years it might be, but you still have some guys in the making, like Pearsall. I think he's going to be one of the best receivers in the division when it's all said and done. So yeah, but I think his offense is built for that, because you're not really asking guys to win a lot of one-on-one battles. You're asking them just to get to the right spot, right? To be where you're supposed to be, to influence the linebackers and safeties with your releases, and the running game's going to help you out. It's not like a Dallas Cowboys offense where you got to win one-on-one.
See, and that's an example of when, like, coaches haven't been able to get the absolute most out of talent or whatever, because you're like, in theory, you should be so much better. You're certainly paying these guys like you are. Like, I think that Kyle Shanahan's been able to get the most out of his talent. It's just that hard to win Super Bowls.
It sure is.
I don't know why we make it seem in any way like you can unlock something with some secret ingredient, secret combination of numbers that you can punch in. Like, you can have the most dominant team offensively and defensively in football and not win.
Yeah, we had the Chiefs win last year, and Pat Mahomes hasn't thrown for 30 touchdowns in 2 seasons. Right? They won mainly because of that defensive line, because that box, the defense got going. So it's about strengthening your strengths and weathering your weaknesses in this league. And that's what the Chiefs did last couple of years, even though Philly got it done.
All right, so normally we do What I Need to Know at 1:45, but we got the dugout. All Mariners from 1 to 2. Shannon, Drayer, Angie, Mentink, and Alex Mayer are all going to join us at 1:15, 1:30, 1:45 in foul territory. Host Scott Braun is getting us started at 1. Before we get to that, then it's What I Need to Know, so get your questions in. 866-979-3776.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, two-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Our bats are back, and the ballpark is rocking like 2001. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Ryan Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We offer a solution that will save you time, money, and frustration. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's What I Need to Know. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know, says the first listener, with the season Cal's having, plus additions made at the deadline, as well as the openness of a weaker American League, if the Mariners don't make it to the ALCS, would it be a disappointment? Yeah.
For you, yeah.
I'll be
Stacy, you've been telling me what to think all day today.
I'm answering for me.
You're looking at me. You're trying to give me the stare like my mom used to give me when I was a kid. Like, listen.
I just told you.
You better listen.
I just told you that because friends should hold each other accountable. I just told you that I don't think you actually think thumbs are fingers. That's all. That's the only decision I made for you today. I made one.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you. Yes, I'm gonna agree. Yes, it would be a disappointment. Roster game, talent is too deep. That has to be a minimum at this point.
Your swag too tough. Let's see. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Let's see. Find some good ones here. How aggressive would your offensive play calling be if you knew... How aggressive would your offensive play calling be if you knew you had a kicker that could go from 70 yards?
What? I think it would be aggressive, but it would also allow you to be a bit more conservative, too.
I'd kick off first down.
Say you're down a point or two, and you have the football with a couple of minutes left, and you're backed up. You know, I don't need huge plays. Just dink and dunk, take it away, and as long as he's about 85% from 70, you got a good chance.
I think that I would, if I knew that I had a kicker, if I knew I had a kicker that would be like 100% from 70, I don't even think, I'm getting to as close to midfield as I can. I'm kicking it every time.
Yeah.
Because the odds of them getting minimum a field goal in every drive are so low. I'm winning every game.
Scoring every drive.
Scoring every drive. Every drive. I'm getting 3. And I'm going to win. I'm going to be the first team to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl with no touchdowns scored whatsoever.
Your defense better be on point.
866-979-3776. Let's see. Do you believe the Mariners can move up in the rankings and be the top seed in the American League for the playoffs?
How many games are they behind?
I think they have the top wild card spot right now.
Yeah,
Half
they
game
got the
back
top
of Houston,
wild card.
but then it's about how far they are from, I think it's still, Curtis, is it still Detroit?
Yeah, they're 2.5 back of Detroit, actually.
That's closer.
Blue Jays also with 69 wins. Nice. So, yeah, 2.5, 3 wins.
I think it's possible. Yeah.
50-50.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Anyone's taking those odds.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Apple series Stick? It's about golfing.
I have not.
It's with Owen Wilson, and now I've never seen it, but I saw a trailer. I think he discovers a golfer. That this kid's like a good golfer, but that's all I can tell you.
I'm on it. Enough said. I'm sold.
Okay. Which job holds more pressure, a kicker or a closer?
Ooh, probably a kicker, because kickers you got one shot at this.
Oh no, I think it's a closer.
Closer, you could walk a guy, get on base,
you can give up a home run.
Turn a double play. You got help. Kicker, you get one shot at this.
Yeah, but when the kicker runs onto the field, no one makes a big deal about it. When the closer runs onto the field, they dim the lights. They got smoke machines, fire coming out of the walls.
You have a whole entrance.
Yeah,
Imagine a high, you are a closer.
That's a lot of pressure.
Like moving your. Hi, G. Scott.
G. Scott yelling Honeywise. I texted him yesterday.
It's a crazy show.
I just started watching it. I
it.
texted him last night. I go, bro, Honeywise is crazy.
Did you finish it?
Nah, I'm like
Curtis,
3 episodes
did you watch
in.
this godforsaken show?
I've seen a few episodes. Brenda loves watching it.
Every single episode, I'm like, what am I watching?
It's wild, man.
Next episode.
It's wild.
What's happening? What's the last show you watched that you recommended it to 40 people like G did with Hunting Wives?
I recommended it. I don't know, man. I don't talk to a lot of people. I talk to y'all every day.
Yeah, because we're your friends.
Yeah, I mean, that I've recommended? I don't know, man. I haven't watched it. Honeywise is the first series I'm watching in over a year, probably.
What?
Yeah.
Like non-sports.
Yeah.
Kind of
like I watch quarterback, receiver, and all that stuff, but this is the first non-sports
It's just,
one.
I think it's just funny how Curtis and I have told you every single time a new season of Survivor starts, we summarize the first several episodes for you and tell you to watch it and really try to convince you, and you never do.
It's a commitment, man. It's a commitment.
Only 2 hours a week.
2 hours.
That's nothing.
That's
Actually,
crazy.
I think it's an hour and a half. So it's not even 2 hours.
An hour and a half when you think about it, especially if you go back and watch it. And then if you really want to commit and listen to the podcasts.
Yeah, but what was the last show that you ever watched that had, a podcast?
Like a plot.
Yeah, with it. Like, have you ever consulted a podcast after watching a show to
like
get
a
more
highbrow
information?
show?
I've never done that.
Never?
No.
I do that with almost every show. Actually, I was going to say major dramas, but I do it with all my housewives too.
Yeah, I've never done it. Maybe Honeywise will be it for me.
Oh, I'm sure there's podcasts about it now.
Someone said, which sport has the most swag? They said F1 or basketball. Or drip. Sorry, they said drip, not swag.
I'm going football all day.
Now, yeah, with the number of uni combos they have.
I'm going football. I mean, I think the sport with the least drip is hockey, because those guys don't care about drip. But every sport has an amount of swag, like baseball does.
Yeah.
Even hockey got some drip to it if you do it right. I mean, not hockey, sorry, golf has some drip to it.
Does our potential diva, if he's a definite diva, does current Seahawks #1 diva JSN go for 1,000 yards, 100 receptions?
Why is he the #1 diva?
Well,
he's done nothing.
My diva rankings, I'm going to create, first of all, I'm going to create a spreadsheet, and I'm going to track this all year. The diva rankings just started, so there's only 2 contributions. It's Jackson Smith-Njigba and you. And
me.
and you. And you guys are the only 2 on it right now. But this is going to go all year long, and it's going to be every single game. We're going to see, all right, who had our diva behavior?
Are you going across the league, or are you staying here in Seattle?
No, that's too much work. That's too many divas in too little time. I'm going just in Seattle, and it's just going to be my diva rankings every single week, and diva behavior for week 1 of the preseason was JSN, followed by you.
All right, I'll take it. Yes, he's going for 1,000 easily.
Let's see. In your opinion, why are people sometimes so book smart considered dumb socially?
Because they spend too much time in the books.
Get out of the
Not
library,
out
nerds.
getting into trouble, hopping fences, playing ding-dong ditch, egging cars. All the things young people do that make no sense, but get them going.
Sometimes also just there really are different types of intelligence that can be really pronounced. I've never struggled with like school, getting good grades. I got great grades in college. Top student. I have said so many dumb things. Top student. I have said
Gas
so many.
yourself.
No, I'm just saying the dumb things I've said before. Remember when Curtis said he was Portuguese?
What'd you say?
I said, I didn't know you were Latino.
I'm not.
And then there's the Home Depot moment. I've just had a lot of moments that I'm not proud of.
We all have those.
Yeah, we all have those.
Yeah.
We all have those. Bump has had those too.
Listen, focus on you. Don't bring me into that. I already said I've had those. I didn't need you to second that.
But do you remember though Gratisfaction? Because I'll never forget it.
That's a good one though.
Gratisfaction was great. What was the other thing Bump said? Carbonet.
Carbonet. When a winery hit me up trying to create
I'm
Carbonet.
so mad.
I'm saying.
You should do it.
We'll be a millionaire, and you know what? I'm going to make fun of you guys on my jet.
We aren't going anywhere, I know is what I need to know. Thank you for all of your great questions. Instead, we're going all Mariners with the dugout from 1 to 2. Don't go anywhere.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Dino was suffering from a rotator cuff tear in his right shoulder.
Part of the pain is like taking off my shirt. I couldn't even really button my pants. I could actually qualify for a shoulder replacement if I wanted to go that route.
He chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the commercials for Dr. Wagner. I did my research. I thought about surgery, but the recovery time was so long, I didn't want to have to be in the sling. I want to be able to retire in a few months, get back to bike riding and playing golf without any pain in my shoulder.
Dino knew from experience that stem cell therapy works. Dr. Wagner had already helped him recover from osteoarthritis in his thumb, but he's not done yet.
And now 2 years later, I'm having an issue with my left shoulder, so I've got it scheduled. And I'm going to go back to see Dr. Wagner again because it was so successful.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats. plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handle employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. And I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left. You want Chevy, go to the right. You want Mazda? Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me. Let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back today, opening up a 3-game series against the Orioles on the road. George Kirby's on the mound for Game 1. First pitch at 3:35 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 2:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Packers quarterback Jordan Love underwent surgery to repair a torn ligament in his left thumb, an injury he suffered on the final play of the Packers preseason game. Thankfully for Green Bay, it's his non-throwing arm, so he's good to go for Week 1.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This is The Dugout. Every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy. Inside access to the clubhouse from Shannon and Drayer on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
It is The Dugout, all Mariners from 1 to 2. Joining us in a little bit, Shannon, Drayer, Mariners analyst Angie Mentink also going to join us at 1:30. Before then, it's time for Foul Territory host Scott Braun joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Scott, how's it going?
Bump and Stacy, it's going well for me, but it's going better for everyone out there with Seattle baseball right now. So I'm very happy to catch you both on a very nice occasion. Good times right now out there. Am I right?
It's really, really fun. We were so excited to have you because you had been very, I think, understandably for the tone of Foul Territory, just unapologetically honest about disappointment with a Mariners staff last year that had such great pitching and just weren't as aggressive in the offseason as you guys thought they should have been. And so I obviously was very, very curious to tune in after the trade deadline because I was shocked that, that they were as aggressive as they were. So I already know a lot of the conversations you guys have had, obviously, listening to the pod, but I would love it to revisit a few of them. Your reaction to the Mariners' approach to the deadline and to the team you're looking at right now.
Yes, finally, yes. And do the math here. Look, you add 2 first division impact bats. And I know it's been a slow start for Gino, but still, you look at the track record this year. You had Gino and Naylor. Come on. Now look at the lineup. That's a lineup that can bang, and that's a lineup that can keep up in October and also get you to October when this team had been falling short and so close to making it to a postseason that they could be dangerous in with the pitching staff that they have. I feel like it was a therapy session of our conversations on this radio station for a 2-year period where you're like, why would you stop right here? It's like, whatever, bring up your Seattle Seahawks reference and you just stop at the 10-yard line and say, hey, you know what? I know I just picked this thing off and I went 80 yards, but I'm just going to stop here at the 10. And I'm just going to hang out for a little bit and see if we can make the playoffs. Like, 50-50 chance we get in. It's like, why? Nobody was asking them to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? We got that. But to me, I just felt like they were getting so close and then not filling out the rest of the roster, and really it was lineup related, right? We would see 2-3 holes in the lineup and just say, you know what, that's not a playoff lineup. That's not a lineup that's going to get you there, and that's not a lineup that's going to win in the postseason, right? Because you need hitting and pitching, of course, to be successful in October, and they had the pitching locked down with, in my mind, a historically good starting staff. Bullpen's really good this year, too, especially considering that things tighten up in the playoffs, and if your starting staff is going to give you length, then your relief pitching is going to have to do less than what they're normally doing. So I'm very impressed with what they were able to put together, and I say about damn time because I'm excited for the rest of how this season plays out, but I do still have a bittersweetness to it where Stacy and Bump, I go, you could have had the same thing running here for the last 2 years, and you blew it.
Scott, I thought your analogy was going to go, yeah, you get down into the 5-yard line and throw the football instead of handing it off.
I was ready for it.
I thought that was coming.
You know football better than I do, Bump.
Hey, so I know we're focused on this year and what this team can do, but the fantasy manager that I am, I'm thinking about the future at the same time. Like, if they were to have success this year, an amount of success we haven't seen before, what does that do for free agency? Because, as you know, Scott, it's so hard to get guys to want to play here in Seattle.
I actually don't think it's as much about that as it is about being the highest bidder. I often, it's a good excuse, but I think San Francisco has used that, and they've probably been hit the hardest, and maybe that has to do with the tax rate there. Toronto's up there, too. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, Seattle can use that to an extent with some bats that are concerned about how things play out. Although I would say, how does Cal Raleigh look to you right now? I just think it had to do with being the highest bidder. I mean, for the most part, a free agent's looking at a good organization that's competitive, that's going to pay them the most. The Mariners fit the bill. So free agents will go there, even bats, if they're competitive and if they're offering them the highest dollar, right? And also keeping in mind that free agents do factor in the taxes there, and I know that helps actually in Washington's case. It's always been a big recruiting chip for a team like the Texas Rangers or even the Houston Astros too, because they don't pay any state income tax when they're in there, and that does factor in. We bring that stuff up on the show because it's real. But I think the other thing, Bump, is I'm super curious to see how the payroll looks after this year. You want to start retaining these players. Arbitration starts to bring up values on starting staff. Will they up it a little bit? I am not expecting them to go crazy, but will you up it a little bit because you figure they're going to make some more money this year with selling better in the second half of the season? I know they had their first sellout, I think, on Saturday night, and then hopefully some playoff ball that you can make money on. And keep in mind that when you're successful as a franchise, the best season is the season after that financially. So you do have to factor that in. Hopefully the Mariners ownership group is smart enough to know how that works.
You mentioned Cal Raleigh as an aside in your answer, but his season has really been front and center for this team and for so many around baseball, which is very cool. And there's so many things you can say about Cal, and I want to just focus on one of them, and that is specifically the MVP race and how real that's become to you, if there's a challenge to judge.
Yeah, for me, sure, you can look at it as close. But when it's that close and Judge went down for a week and change and he's not playing in the field right now, it is going to hurt some of the stats that the writers are looking at in their decisions. I think it helps that the Mariners are on a playoff track right now. I mean, we had Tim Kurkjian the other day guest hosting our Insider show, the Ken Rosenthal Fair Territory show. And he said the playoff component, the valuable component of MVP still matters to him because he doesn't want it to just turn into a contest of who has the top WAR and who is the player of the year. Some writers do look at it that way. For me, I've thought the whole season that Cal Raleigh is the MVP. You can't do anything better than what he's doing at the catcher position. It is the best season from a catcher of all time with 6 weeks to spare. So for me, he's the MVP. He's incredibly good defensively. And I know it may be taking a few steps back on some of the metrics. I don't care. He looks good to me. He calls a great game, and that's the toughest part, and that's why so many catchers struggle at the position. And then he's a top 3 offensive performer in the sport this year. So for me, it's a lock. I mean, obviously, we got to factor in injury if someone gets hurt, him or Judge or whatever. But if they both play the rest of the season, I think Cal Raleigh's a lock to win MVP if he keeps up this pace. He's going to hit, at least mid-50s, probably homers with 6 weeks to go, if not more. Could touch 60 plus. So for me, that's the MVP. AJ Przinsky on my show has called him MVP the whole year. We were getting a lot of flack early on, and now most of that has gone away thanks to, of course, Judge missing some games and the Yankees generally looking like crap for a 2-month span.
Yeah, I appreciate the Yankees for their contributions to the Cal Raleigh campaign, for sure. I was having a conversation with a coworker, and we were talking about how the bats might have passed up the pitching at this point of the season when you look at the Mariners. Do you think that's true, and do you feel like that's the way they win, or do you feel like the arms got to get back to what we saw the last couple of years?
I think the talent is there from an arms perspective. I know there's been a few more injuries sprinkled in, but it was like perfection last year, as far as I remember, with the starting staff picking up almost every single start that they were supposed to. You just rarely see that. To me, this is more of your average season where some guys go down, some guys aren't at their sharpest. The question is, can you get them to that point when you get to October? So, Bob, I just think it's a more balanced team. I think for years we're looking and we're like, damn, this is not a top-to-bottom offense that should be able to keep up in a playoff race. And it's funny, the two teams that won the trade deadline really addressed that. Now you look 1 through 9 at the Mariners lineup and you're like, this group can keep up with anyone. And the Padres actually had the same problem. I've liked San Diego talent-wise for years. I thought that they were being underrated this year. Of course, they've built a super bullpen, but also they had a very clear weakness at the bottom of their lineup. Really, the bottom 3 was much too easy of an out for big-time pitching. And last night was a perfect example. Bottom of their lineup creates all of the runs in their comeback. They have filled the holes there. So anyway, relating it to Seattle, I think the same thing is going here. We're top to bottom. There's just not easy outs. I think it's more of a balanced approach. I still love the stuff of the starting staff, so I'm good there. If I had to be really nitpicky, I think the bullpen is excellent, but when I match it up against a few of the other teams that beefed up their bullpens at the trade deadline, I think it's good. Is it top 3? Not for me. Is it top 5 to 7? Sure. So if we want to get really picky, I mean, now the gold standard is A.J. Preller has 5 closers for the San Diego Padres. We'll see how that looks. They were a win away from beating the Dodgers, and I think they would have dusted the Yankees in the World Series. So I think they were the second best team in baseball last year. So if I'm being nitpicky, like, sure, could the Mariners have grabbed a Duran, who I heard actually was close to landing in Seattle? Yes. And if the team ends up falling an inning short in a bullpen situation in October, I guess we can look there. But DePoto's done an awesome job this year.
I'm embracing being a little nitpicky and with lots of hypotheticals for the Mariners. It's new territory, so it's kind of nice to be like, well, here's how this team could be perfect. It's a nice change from some frustrating off seasons. One of our absolute favorite shows, Foul Territory, by absolutely one of our favorite hosts, Scott Braun. Scott, thanks for taking the time, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it. Fun phone call. Thank you, Bump and Stacy. Talk soon.
See ya. All right, this is the Dugout, all Mariners from 1 to 2. Coming up at 1:45, Alex Mayer, Mariners analyst. Angie Mentink joins us at 1:30. Coming up next, Mariners insider Shannon Drayer.
It's the Mariners push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
The pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? Well, if that's not reason enough, you don't risk the scary side effects or gaining the weight back as soon as you stop. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural, and it works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us right now for the Dugout. And Shannon, we were listening to some sound from Tim Kurkjian earlier in the show saying that he believes the Mariners can not only get to a World Series but win one. And sometimes it's weird to hear so many national experts start talking about the Mariners as a World Series possibility. I can't tell if everyone's just riding the hype of a team that's hot coming out of the deadline, or if there's a real kind of chance that the Mariners have. How do you see their odds?
I think when the national people are looking at it, they're probably looking a little bit more at what the rest of the league is doing as opposed to what we're looking at. And so I think that we look at what the Mariners have, and I think we've got a pretty realistic view of where they are and what they have, and they are vastly improved, make no mistake, since the deadline, and had been improving somewhat since then, but we don't really take into consideration as much as what's going on elsewhere. So I think that when they look at the Mariners, and I think the national people have wanted them to be the darling for the last few years. They have been so in love with the pitching, and they still think of them as having the 24 and the 23 staffs. And so for them, it adds up pretty easily. And I'm going to say, and I've said this week after week after week, the thing that I'm not convinced about right now is the pitching. But the good news remains that pitching can kick in at just about any time, especially on the side of the starters. You know, you're not asking for too much more from them. It is just probably a little tweak from Logan Gilbert to get back to where he has been at. Maybe an extra day here and there for Brian Wu to keep him fresh through the end. George Kirby, keep doing what you're doing. I like what he is doing. He's kind of evolving a little bit and really keeping a very high floor for George Kirby while he does that. And then Bryce Miller is the wild card right now. And for the first time all season, I'm optimistic of what he could be when he gets back. So for me, I do think, and I just talked a lot about pitching and not about bullpen, and they need a little bit more bullpen. I think that's obvious, and they need to stay healthy in the bullpen. But the offense, that is one that you look at right now, and you can see the bigger picture with it. You're not relying on any one or two guys. We saw them just go through a 10-game homestand without Eugenio Suarez kicking in quite yet. We've seen them, hold steady through a little bit of a substantial streak from Cal Raleigh of not, having the success that he had earlier in the season. So I think when you put all that together, and you add that to what the rest of the league is this year, I think it's reasonable to have them near the top. They've obviously got to go out there and get it done, and I guess a lot can change in the next 2 months, but that can go either way, and the Mariners seem to be on that upward trajectory right now.
Shannon, it is all about the team, but as you know, and everyone else in the country should know now, Cal is having himself a special season. I need you to educate me a little bit. In other sports in this country, the MVP can be like a team award as well, right? You got a player who's doing a great job, but now his team is excelling. How important is it for the Mariners to continue to rise in popularity and production for Cal to be considered even more? Obviously, he's going to be considered for the MVP, but what does the team have to do to give Cal that extra boost?
I think they have to stay relevant, which it would be very hard for them not to. I think that a lot of times that you do look at that award, and in order to be the most valuable, it would seem that the team has to do something of note. And perhaps, the Yankees have been an absolute mess. What happens if they don't make the postseason? And I know that sounds outrageous, but what happens? Does Aaron Judge lose votes because of that? So, when you look at the team aspect, and there are obviously all sorts of other things that will come into play, if you want to look at the numbers, if you want to look at the WAR, if you want to look at the possibility that you don't see Aaron Judge back out in the field or you don't see him very much, that goes into it as well. But I think the team is doing their job right now. And I think that, the Mariners have done their job. I think baseball has pushed Cal forward. I think you can also thank Jared Kelnick for nicknaming him the Big Dumper. He is on the national stage. He is front of mind right now for baseball fans throughout the country. And I think that, that everything else has kind of fallen into place for him. His marketing, purposely or not, he's hit the awareness. The Mariners being a bit of a darling team and certainly going to make a run, that absolutely helps. Improving the team and getting the lineup to a spot where Cal said everyone, self-included, feels that there's a little less pressure with the way the lineup is right now with the additions and the order of it. So I think at this point, I think he's got everything he needs to, as far as probably, I guess you would call the uncontrollables out there, to go out, put up his best season, and he certainly has a much bigger chance right now than he did 2 months ago, even though his numbers were better 2 months ago. I think everything else has been taken care of.
I really like your point about, well, I think national experts also might be considering 2024 pitching and kind of combining it with some of those changes, because I think you're right. I think why they're kind of doing it too is because those guys are still here. Like, it doesn't have to be a hypothetical. They look and they see, oh, Kirby's going to start tonight against Baltimore. No, look, Logan's going to, go the next day. But you're absolutely right. It hasn't felt quite the same as it did last year. Can it get back to that point? Are there places where I know we're going to see Kirby tonight, but we are going to see Logan during the series? Are there places where, for instance, Gilbert can take a step forward, and what does that look like?
Yeah, it does. And for Gilbert, it just means, getting through that sixth inning at this point. The stuff has been there. We've said that consistently. It's just the pitch counts have gone up so high. He hasn't been able to be dominant in terms of he's going to stay in that game for a while and make it tough for 6-7 innings. And to me, I think it's one of those things that when he finds it, he finds it. And that's it. He goes from there, and add to that he has got a month and a half off of the arm this year, that he hasn't pitched as much because of the injury that he had. So, that gives me some optimism, because I think he's going to figure it out. I think that Logan Gilbert's track record is so substantial that, and the way he goes about his work, and the way that the Mariners have, such success in making tweaks here and there with the pitching, I think that gives him a good chance to get there. And I think we've just got to sit back and probably feel pretty good that the stuff is there, and just, hope they find whatever it is that they need to find to get him to that spot where he's just a tad bit more dominant with the stuff that he has, and that he's getting much more efficient outs.
We had someone text in and say they were concerned with Munoz. Are you concerned? What are you seeing with the young man?
He's had some command problems with the slider, and that is something that you see throughout the seasons. I mean, every season he's had, there comes a time in the season where he just doesn't feel as comfortable with the pitch, or he doesn't quite have the command of the pitch that he has had before, or really kind of the trust in it that he has had. And I think he's been there for a couple of weeks right now. I do think that we saw kind of a step in the right direction in his last outing, and they are being a little bit more careful with him. They do appear to be getting him a little bit more rest and not really putting the foot on the gas yet. At some point, I expect there are going to be times when he comes in the eighth inning to get that extra out, and they haven't done that, and they haven't had to do that yet, so that should help. But I think that's the biggest thing with him, and I think they're also just pulling back on those innings a little bit. I think that's it. I don't think there is anything that's overriding with him, other than the slider has just not been as dependable for him and as predictable in its movement and where it's going to go and in his overall command of it. But that's happened before. He's found it before. And so, again, kind of like with Logan Gilbert, because of the history, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but also because you don't really have you have Matt Brash, and after that you don't have another leverage arm behind him in that pen, really underscores how important he and Matt Brash are for that matter.
Kind of staying with this, so taking out he and Brash, obviously your high leverage relievers, the guys that you're looking at. Who's another arm in that bullpen this team is probably going to have to look at? Maybe it's in long relief, maybe it's just hoping he's playing some of his best baseball, but whatever it is, kind of helping to make up for the loss of Thornton.
Well, for the loss of Thornton, it's pretty much everyone. And that is a case of, Thornton was somebody that you could put in just about any place, and he could give you multiple innings. I think they're looking at Ferguson, and we've seen him have the up and down since he's come over. Didn't do it a ton this year before the trade, but I think he's capable of it. I think you'll see that more. And then, he'd love to get Vargas back to first half Vargas. And there have been little signs here and there, and you've got to hope the Bizzardo keeps up everything that he has done throughout the year. I do think that there are times when we will see some different arms in the pen. Could we see Troy Taylor at some point? Probably. He was up for a little look and then sent back down earlier this week. He hasn't put up the greatest numbers at Tacoma, but that opportunity is there for him if he is able to show something down the stretch. I've got to look a little bit more into Colin Snyder. He cleared waivers and was assigned back to Tacoma, and he was dealing with a lot in the dings and dents department almost from day one of the season. And if they can get him to a point where he's much more healthier, can he get back to the form that he was in the second half last year? That's something that could help as well. We continue to ask about Santos, and he is healthy right now. The knee is good to go, and he is to a point where it's a matter of rebuilding him back up. And that, obviously, we've heard that name so many times that just isn't relevant until he's actually here and does something. But he has the capability, if he is physically here, to do some big things. So, is there an outside hope that is something that could help in September? It's worth tracking. So, those are the ones that specifically you look at, and then you kind of wonder at some point, do they look at a starter and putting them in the pen in the postseason, and if not, a little bit before then. And so you keep your eyes open on, does an Emerson Hancock all of a sudden get put in the pen in the next couple of weeks in Tacoma? Does Bryce Miller come back, and does he look like he is good to go as a starter, and he's going to be able to go out there and give 6+ every time? And does he look anything like he did in the second half last year, which for him was actually the last 4 months? I don't even think 1 second about putting him in the pen. I want him in the rotation. At some point, I think the extra help is going to be there in that form. I just don't know what it's going to be yet.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer, kind enough to join us for the dugout. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
All right, coming up next, we asked Shannon about Logan Gilbert during this series, but George Kirby's going to be pitching Game 1, so let's ask Mariners analyst Angie Mentink about him next.
It's the Mariners push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
The pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Joining us right now for the Dugout, it's Mariners analyst Angie Mentink. And Angie, for a while there, Cal was struggling a bit, and it was okay. It happens to the very, very best hitters. We saw it happen with Shohei earlier. It's normal. Slumps happen, and sometimes you're trying to figure out how to get out of it, and you just play your way through it. And then luckily, he hit 3 home runs in 3 games, so that'll do it. That'll help. What were you seeing from Cal maybe prior to this series that looked maybe a little encouraging, and what did you see in this series?
Well, I think you're right, Stacy, in regards to every player is going to go through that. People are pitching him so difficult. I mean, so hard. They're trying to find the holes because there really aren't a lot in his swing right now. But what Cal does is he is looking to, make contact with the baseball out in front to the pull side, whether he's, hitting from the left side or the right side. And sometimes, when you do that, there's a little less, room for error. And I think you saw him get out in front of a couple home runs, hit them foul. But what we're seeing, right now is when Cal is on time and he's squaring up the fastball and has the ability and the length because of the balance in his swing to be able to adjust to the off speed. And he's just so good at recognizing pitches out of the hand. And I do think that, with all the wear and tear of the catcher position, this is one little perk for him is, you just have a catalog of hundreds of thousands of pitches out of the hand of a pitcher.
Andy, how do players work themselves out of slumps like that, right? When I coach football, I got a receiver who's dropping the football. I do little things, exaggerate the eyes, look the ball all the way into the tuck. Like, what are some of the fundamental things that a hitter like Cal or even a guy like Gino who's not performing at the top of his level kind of do to get back into the groove of things?
Well, for Gino, I mean, it's always difficult, right? When you're coming to a new team. And especially somebody like Gino, who has a heart 3 times larger than the average player. He wants to, succeed so badly. Run. I think, the thing that, everybody in this lineup should start to, adopt and accept is that they don't have to be the guy, every single night. It can be spread out throughout this lineup. There isn't that pressure that I've got to be the one that comes through. But Gino has gone back out there and stole a bunch of hits there on defense, and he's going to run into his home runs, no doubt about it.
Hey, something that we were talking about a little earlier in the show is the impact of things outside of talent on a club. And maybe it's inspired by the Brewers being the hottest team in baseball. And I don't know how many people entering the season would have said they were purely the most talented. But, whether it's what a great manager does for players, or in the case of the Mariners, Angie, maybe it's what a really aggressive front office at a deadline does for players. What kinds of things, completely unrelated to what players do on the field, can impact a clubhouse and can get to players? For instance, like do Mariners players care that that a front office really, really believes?
Yes, absolutely they do. And I thought you were leading me to Josh Naylor when you were talking about talent and what someone can do. I mean, he's the only player in Major League history with 10 or more stolen bases and 4 or more home runs in his first 15 games with the franchise. I mean, that is probably not who you thought of on your list. I think it's really critical not only that, that your front office goes and does those things and wants to win, but they do the right things. And sometimes those things can take time, and maybe the Yankees will even things out. But you look at all of the moves that they made and how right now it's just like broken, shattered pieces everywhere. So I think that with Caleb Ferguson and Josh Naylor and, with Gino, those were, the glaring, holes that this team had. But it's what they went out and chose to fill those holes with, to me, that are so impressive. And them being able to just, fold into this team that already had a lot of chemistry. So it isn't something that, at the trade deadline, you can go out and really mess things up. And the Mariners front office did just the opposite. And I think that, to have a really successful season, you need to have, the players, the staff, and then that front office, all singing from the same hymn book.
We focus on the top of the order a lot. Angie, it's been fun watching this ball club play because, you just feel the talent and the power. But the bottom of the order has been playing some good ball as well. We know Julio has to lead the charge. Cal has to be there. Randy, Gino, all those guys. But how important is it that this bottom performs during the stretch? And what have you seen out of the order? Bottom of the order, excuse me.
I agree with you, so much. And the bottom of this order is going to continue to get opportunities, and they're going to continue to get challenged. Because if you're looking, at Randy Cal, Julio, Josh Naylor, Gino at the top, and that's what you've got to deal with coming up, you're like, I've got to take care of these guys, right? I can't walk them. I've got to, make them put the ball in play and hope they hit it at somebody, because the guys coming up at the top of the order are going to hit it to the fans in the seats. So I think that it's critical that these guys, continue to do what they're doing. The 17 pitch at bat, that JP had, and even though he ended up, getting out in that at bat, the piece that he took, from the other team was just a huge chunk. And if you think about it, it's like, boom, it's a walk right behind him. And then all of a sudden, the top of the order are doing their thing. So I think that the bottom of the order is really critical. And I have to imagine that opponents are like, JP Crawford's batting 8th? What? I mean, that's how good this lineup is? Come on. There's no soft spots because, the production for the top guys and then the bottom guys they're scrappy, and they are just going to be, relentless, as we saw again with JP. And even when Cole Young is in there, I mean, he's having much better at bats. He's taken his walks. I mean, he walked 4 times, in a recent game. He's been really impressive too.
The starting pitchers they had last year that were so exceptional are still here and do still look amazing, obviously, but I think you can see just some differences in performances compared to last year, and maybe last year is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, sometimes in baseball everything's working and it's great and you can't replicate it. That being said, if you're looking at let's say George Kirby, who we're going to see tonight, what's something that not only you're watching for him tonight specifically when you're on the call, but maybe something that you're seeing this year where he could, if he could just tweak 1 or 2 things, or like this is different from last, but if he could just figure this out, where's that kind of area to make up for him, as small as it is?
Well, when you think about last year's rotation and then you fast forward to this year, you realize how special last year was in the sense that, you don't have 5 starters, be that good and stay, that healthy for so much of the season. So you're right. Guys have had different roles. I mean, Brian Wu has been your anchor, if you will, in this rotation with his consistency. For George Kirby, I think that he is in a really good place right now. The one thing that we haven't seen a lot of is his split finger. And I've asked him about this. I've asked him, hey, is it because you don't have a good feel for this? He's telling me, no, it's not that. We really haven't needed it. So he hasn't gone to it. If that's the case, I think that it's important that pitch stays sharp in bullpens in between. And if you have that little wrinkle, the third time through the lineup that you can deploy as he continues to get stronger, I think that would be fantastic. But, he seems to be pitching with the right mindset and that sweet spot of where George Kirby has to exist between I'm really ticked off and also, incredibly focused on what I'm doing here, and I will not be deterred.
Angie, when I watch Wu pitch now, it feels like he's entering like another stage in his career. We have kids, right? It's like I was looking at my son the other day. He's 15 now, and we're driving in the car, and I'm like, that is a young man I'm sitting next to now. Like, this ain't a little kid. It just all hit me at once. And I'm kind of getting the same feeling when I'm watching Wu. I'm like, he's not just this young pitcher trying to figure it out anymore. He's entering a different stage in his career. What are you seeing out of Wu in his maturation?
Yeah. When I saw it with Wu was when he was at the red carpet at the All-Star game. I was like, where is our sweet little Brian Wu? Like, who is this cat? I mean, he's cool. He has it all going on right now. I think he's figuring out himself. I mean, he has such an incredible foundation around him. I mean, his parents are just absolutely darling. They have made such a great, and his sister is great as well. But they've created this incredible foundation, for him to be able to build on. And I think, sometimes you're looking around when you first have the success, it's like, hey, am I really doing this? And I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but for him, I think he's just finally started to look at what he's been able to build, this season. And he's got it. He understands where he is and who he is. And he is him right now.
Mariners analyst Angie Mentink, kind enough to join us for the dugout. Thanks, Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
You got it.
Alex Mayer joining us next.
It's the Mariners push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
The pitch swung on. That's roped. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip. Today, it's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Alex Mayer joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Now, we are going all Mariners from 1 to 2, and obviously we got some Mariners questions with Alex. But, Alex, while you're with us, I'm going to start with kind of a fun one. I don't know that you'll have an answer, but Bump, when we were sitting outside like an hour ago, we were outside at camp, and there was a little girl and her dad walked by. What happened?
Alex, so I'm sitting there, and this guy walks by. He goes, "Hey, Bum, go Cougs." I'm like, "Yeah, go Cougs." And then he goes to his daughter, goes, "Hey, look, that's Michael Bumpus, former Seahawk." And she goes, "Yeah, but there are actual players behind him."
Oh, no. Oh,
and
God.
I said, "Little girl, you are correct."
Devastating. Alex, my question that I don't...
the former players.
I know. I don't know if you have an answer to it, but have you ever had a moment where you just felt very... humbled isn't the right word, but you were just like, wow, this is that one hurt.
That's I don't have anything off the top of my head, but that story, I guess, reminds me of every time I go into the parking lot after the game. I feel fortunate and blessed enough that I'm still at an age where I get confused for a player occasionally. It's certainly not muscle mass, but age-wise, I'm holding on to it for dear life. Nice. So I take it when I can get it.
Nice.
Fantastic. Someone who's having an amazing year, maybe not feeling humbled at all, is Cal Raleigh. First thing we wanted to talk about, obviously, just the historic season he's having. What milestone is next, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, you could take your pick, really. He's at 45 home runs, which is tied with Johnny Bench for the second most by a catcher in a season ever. really only Salvador Perez and his 48 homers 4 years ago for the Royals stand between Cal and the most home runs by a catcher in a season. I think the next one on the list, though, is Cal is at 98 RBIs, and if he has his second straight 100 RBI season, which he's obviously on track to do, he'll be only the 10th catcher in big league history with back-to-back seasons of 100 RBIs, and the first AL catcher to do it since Thurman Munson. The late Thurman Munson did it for the Yankees in the 70s, which was kind of put the bow on it with an MVP season, too.
The M's are getting healthier, man. What's the deal with Robles and Miller? What are we seeing? And Rayleigh as well.
Yeah, exciting stuff. I mean, I think you guys saw Luke Rayleigh just hit a grand slam the other day for Tacoma. Bryce Miller set to make his third rehab start with the Rainiers tomorrow in Vegas. So that's Wednesday. And then I think the big one is Victor Robles is back. He's set to be in the lineup tonight for the Rainiers as they take on Las Vegas in Vegas against the Aviators. So big news there. I think for as exciting as the last week was, I've really been itching to talk to you guys after this 7-game winning streak and hopefully more. But yeah, Robles is back, Rayleigh's back, and Miller's back. So team has been so good lately, and they're not even at full strength yet.
Getting back to Cal for just a second, I'm really glad that there was that series, obviously against the Rays with a home run in each of those games, because for a while it had been understandable but somewhat repetitive questions about Cal being in a slump. And to me, Alex, one of the most slumps are incredibly frustrating for players, but one of the tough things as a fan or an analyst is that you don't know the answer, so you can ask a million times, like, what's going on with a player, and most of the time they're like, couldn't tell you.
Sure.
To see Cal kind of climb out of it, does it speak to Cal, a person? Like any good player is going to find a way out, but I mean, he wasn't there for long.
Right. Yeah. I think what sets Cal apart from others maybe slumping is I feel like Cal, more than any player I've ever worked with, is probably more, I guess, mentally and emotionally, able to pull himself out because he just stays so humble and just doesn't really compromise his approach. Right. He realizes strikeouts are part of his game, whether he's hitting 5 home runs in a week or 0. He realizes that he's not going to compromise his approach. And I think what makes Cal so special and different is when he's going amazing, like he's, winning AL Player of the Month, anytime he's asked about his stats or how he's doing or anything like that, he always just kind of addresses like, hey, like baseball has its ups and downs. Like I'm going really well right now, but next week, I'll probably not have as good of a week. So he's just got a really good understanding, I think, of how the game works and realizes like, look, I'm not going to hit 100 home runs. There's going to be weeks like this, but I'll get back to it.
You speak about Cal's mental and how he's able to kind of stay steady and climb himself out. What about Gino? Because Gino's not playing the best ball right now, and I'm sure, he wants to play better ball. What's his mental like when he's in stages like this?
Yeah, I think even when you saw Gino hit 49 home runs for the Reds that one year, or even last season with the Diamondbacks, he's a very streaky hitter. I mean, it's pretty difficult to remember at this point how poor of a first half he had with the Diamondbacks last year. I remember some people on Twitter and stuff saying like, hey, the Diamondbacks might DFA Gino and we can pick him back up again. And then you look up and his numbers were, 30 homer, 100 RBI season like he's so accustomed to doing. So I think actually even more so than Cal, Gino's just been a streaky hitter throughout his career. His splits tell the story of that as well. But when he's on, I mean, he's on. There's not many better power hitters across the league than Suarez. And I know that he had that big 2-run single in our series finale win against the Rays on Sunday. So I expect Gino to take that momentum and have it carried through the road trip.
Is there I guess when you're comparing the team the Mariners are rolling out right now to some of the best Mariners teams we've seen of the last, 25 years or so, are there certain stats that you're watching? How does this club typically compare?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it's probably the deepest lineup since I've been here. So it's my 5th season. I've been here since 2021. It's the best lineup I've seen from the Mariners. I think we can all agree the name of the game on offense is runs, which equates to winning. But I think if you want to kind of peel back and look at an advanced stat, an OPS plus, so basically 100 is league average. If you're at 110, you're essentially 10% better than league average. all 9 of the Mariners starting lineup is above 100 right now, and we haven't seen that in some time.
Wow.
I mean, it's something we haven't really seen since 02, 03-ish, so it's been in historic territory for the Mariners, and Cole Young has been really swinging it well and got his mark above 100, so a lot of special things we're seeing.
He is Alex Mayer, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline for the dugout. Thanks, Alex. Have a good one.
I look forward to this every week. Thank you, guys.
Alex is awesome. Always great to hear from him. Thank you again to Foul Territory host Scott Braun for joining us, Mariners insider Shannon Drayer, and of course, Mariners analyst Angie Mentink. A great dugout today. Hey, Mariners have an early one today. First pitch against the Orioles in this series opener is at 3:35 p.m., which means you got pregame show coming your way in just over a half hour. This has been the dugout.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Hey, college students, Safeway is giving you 5% off. That's right. Junior colleges, tech schools, universities, just verify your student ID in the app, unlock exclusive deals, and shop on the app or in person. Better yet, subscribe to Fresh Pass to get free delivery and other special offers. Remember, if you use EBT, Fresh Pass is 50% off and you get savings on fresh produce. For all the details, visit Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FOR in the letter U.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box, or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get back to it after a night off. They are on the East Coast to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Game 1 of the 3-game series. It'll be a 9-game road trip for your Seattle Mariners. Hopefully they can keep the good vibes, the good feelings they